welcome back to another episode of the Buffalo Happy Hour. Mike, what's going on?
Derek, we are back with our friends over at Addys. So shout out to them for letting us utilize their tasting room yet again. What else is new? Mm-hmm. But we are here with a new friend, a new brand, new drinks.
Best friends.
Best of friends.
Yeah.
So you want to introduce yourself, your title, and then we can dive right into all the questions that we got for you.
Well, first off, I just wanted to thank the both of you guys for having me on this wonderful show. I became a quick fan of what you guys do. So just to get that started, thanks for the intro. It's very formal. I work for Anheuser-Busch. I'm what you would call one of their wine and spirits BDRs. So that probably sounds very strange. Anheuser-Busch Wine and Spirits BDR, right? So that's kind of where the world's going, especially as far as, big producers such as Anheuser-Busch really trying to capitalize on that new market that's become very, very huge as far as the segmentation in that category is concerned. So I'm part of a very new program that's called the Beyond Beer division within Anheuser-Busch. So we focus on all their ready-to-drink cocktails, the malt beverages and things like that. So very excited to be a part of that team. I've been with them for a little over a year now. I actually live in Rochester, so it's like the redheaded stepchild of Buffalo. Don't hate me for that, guys, but diehard Bill. So. But yeah, I cover the Rochester and the Buffalo market, and Addys is one of my absolute best accounts, and they're just great people. It's a great family that runs the store, and they're a huge supporter of all of our brands, and clearly they bring something to the table because a store such as Addys is only going to put stuff on their shelves that's going to help enhance that shopping experience for their clientele, and I think that our portfolio is a great fit for what they do here, and just happy to be a part of it. So hats off to Addys. Shout out.
For sure. And everything that we talk about today is available at Addys, obviously. So if you download their app, Addys Wine and Spirits, on your Android or Apple phone, you can find all of this stuff and then come and pick it up. So, yeah. What were you doing before you joined Anheuser-Busch?
So a very roundabout way that I got into sales. I have a very hospitality-driven background. My father was a restaurateur growing up, as was his dad. So by default, that's what I ended up doing after getting out of school. I went to St. John Fisher College back in Rochester, focusing on business. And once I finished up there, I took a few years just to figure things out. And then I got into the restaurant business, as luck may have it, with my older brother, one of my very good friends, and our executive chef, Mike Schnupp. Shout out Mike Schnupp. We opened up our flagship restaurant in Rochester, New York, called Tavern 58 at Gibbs. That was dating myself now, almost 12 years ago. So that was back in 2008. So we expanded beyond there to two different stores, two different areas in Greater Rochester, and then after some expansion, some tough lessons in the world of small businesses and fine dining and owning your own restaurants and all that stuff. A lot of lessons learned. I have my entire family to thank for the businesses that I started. I met my beautiful wife, and love you, babe, at my flagship restaurant back in 2013. So. Very hospitality driven, and like I said, we were in the restaurant business for a long time, and I actually segued away from that into the country club world, which is not something I was at all familiar with. Didn't grow up in a country club, but I found it interesting to see hospitality from that lens.
Sure.
Get inside of that world, and it was really cool to see how I'm very experience driven. So obviously in the restaurant world, it's all about providing that best dining experience, right? Whatever that entails, whatever your concept is, and to see how that applies to the country club world and enhancing the member experience, not the customer experience. That was very interesting to be immersed in that. So I was there doing that for about 4 years. I was their director of food and beverage. And after that, and get married, having a few kids, and wanted to spend some time with my kids and my wife, I had to kind of change gears a little bit. So through some mutual contacts in the business, I was made aware of a position that opened up with Anheuser-Busch, and here we are a little over a year later. So 13 months in the role, and couldn't be happier. It's fantastic.
Love that.
So they're a obviously gigantic brand. What was the process like to get hired by them?
Believe it or not, I was going through the process of trying to get into further management roles within the club, right? So going through that, seeing out a bunch of different opportunities that were available in the Rochester and the Buffalo region. Looking into that, I met a mutual contact that at one point was an executive within Anheuser-Busch. Now they work with a distributor back in Rochester. So they were my conduit, if you will, into the world of distributorship, and made me aware of the position that came available. And I sat down with a couple of the executives that are here regionally with Anheuser-Busch, and had a lovely Zoom meeting. That was my first time doing a Zoom interview, which was interesting, but I must have done okay. So I ended up getting the job. And like I said, it was a huge transition for me personally because, I'm very people-driven, and I've been in the restaurant business my entire life, and providing experiences and dealing with people in that regard. And I was on the purchasing end of it in the restaurant business. So I've never done sales per se, but I'm very involved with the dynamic of sales because I was just on the buying side. Now I'm on the other. So I'm very familiar with the dynamic, and it was a somewhat seamless transition. Hopefully Tyler's happy with the services. I've been told that, but yeah, it's been great for me and my family. Just a great company to be a part of. They're doing great things. Their innovation is really leading the way, and it's been fantastic.
So what would you say your normal drink of choice is? Are you a ready to drink guy? Are you a whiskey guy? Like what do you normally go to drink?
Give me a Bud Light and some bourbon. I'm a pretty simple guy in that regard, but at the same time, time and a place for everything, right? Mm-hmm. And I think these ready to drink cocktails provide something for pretty much everyone on any occasion. And the cool part about it is their convenience. Obviously, the quality and the liquid is fantastic, but I've never really been a vodka drinker, vodka cranberry, any of that stuff. And now I'm, sitting there joking around with my brother, and we're pounding Nutrls and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of, how I ended up in AB. And, it's just interesting to see the way that AB is kind of segued away from just, putting out this fantastic product that's in the beer world and trying to take advantage of this new segment.
Well, I'm happy that they went this route. And I mean, I'm sure that we'll talk about the ready to drink versus some of the malt stuff, but they didn't go down the malt, which is typically what big distributors go to, right?
Mm-hmm. They did with the Bud Light Seltzer.
Oh, okay, right.
So that's another huge part. So my particular role is called, obviously, Wine and Spirits, BDR. It's a brand development rep. They also have a malt beverage brand development rep. There's actually one of my counterparts that does the same thing that I do, but just on the seltzer side. So he covers the Rochester area, and very, very huge priority within Anheuser-Busch as well.
Are you seeing, like, when you guys talk about things, was it, like, did it start a lot with the Bud malt beverages, and then now you're seeing a spike in the vodka seltzers, or has it always been kind of an even distribution between both of those brands?
Seltzers owned it for the last 2+3 years almost. White Claw obviously was the first to really get in that game. Very happy to say that Bud Light Seltzer is the leader now within that category, but seltzers as a whole are starting to fall off, and the ready-to-drink, air quotes, cocktail, which is a spirits-based, is starting to really take over.
Okay.
So that's why brands such as Nutrl, brands such as Cutwater are uniquely positioned right now to really kind of take advantage of that and, get their full market share.
So when did they first start doing the Nutrl stuff?
Nutrl, we had just launched this about 3 months ago, and it was only in test markets. About a month ago, we went coast to coast with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And just like, all right, no, we'll just feed it to the West Coast. Like, what are you talking about?
That's it. Well, that's what you talk about when you're getting in bed with Anheuser-Busch, right? So this isn't a Anheuser-Busch created brand. This was made in Vancouver back in 2013. There was a distillery that started making their own vodka, gin, rum, just very clean flavors, right? So they did that part of it. Kind of similar story to what Cutwater did. Then they morphed into this, making their own vodka sodas. Became the number one selling ready-to-drink cocktail in Canada for 2+ years running. That type of stuff falls under Anheuser-Busch's radar. Mm-hmm. We acquire it, rebrand it. In Canada, it's sold in like a short, squat, typical 12-ounce can. It's more fashionable these days for anything that falls into this light and refreshing category to have that tall, sleek can.
Sure.
So rebranding. Then you got the marketing and the distribution strength of Anheuser-Busch coast to coast. So it just makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So what's the story behind Nutrl? Because it's very European, clearly. And is that the name of the distillery that was out on the West Coast?
So that was the name of the distillery, like I said, back in 2013. And the whole thing with Nutrl is they want to, I think, clean, simple, neutral. Mm-hmm. 3 ingredients: vodka, juice, seltzer. That's it.
We got to try it.
Very clean. I think we should. Which flavor should we start with, gentlemen?
Pineapple.
I'm parched.
But go ahead. So 3 ingredients.
So 3 ingredients. This is my personal favorite. This is the pineapple. Here you are, gents.
Thank you.
You are so very welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Cheers.
Cheers. Sorry, I got very excited because I'm also parched.
Oh, that's delicious. Refreshing, and that's kind of the whole idea, right? Because some of these ready-to-drink cocktails, especially the ones you're going to see from Cutwater, these have ABVs that fall, the lowest ones are 5.9, 7%, then the margaritas get up into that 12, 13, 14 range.
Oh, wow.
Woof.
Nutrls are 4.5%. Yeah, hop in, buddy. 4.5%, zero sugar, only 100 calories. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, there's definitely sugar, the juice in there. So there's no added sugar, right? Sure. So whatever sugar would be present in that natural fruit juice, that's what's in there. But as you can see, it's slightly carbonated. Our biggest competitor is High Noon. Mm-hmm. So that's the competitor. That's who we're going right after, right? That's that type of customer. You're going to find that the High Noons and the seltzers in general have a much more carbonated feel, giving you that agita after you have a couple of them. Mm-hmm. This is very slightly carbonated. You can see the bubbles, right? It's there, but it's not something that's true, totally overpowering. So it's good. It's very refreshing. It's crisp. This is the pineapple. This is my personal favorite, but they're all really good. So
Is this what
do
you
you
bring
guys
on the
think?
course?
I like these on the course. Yep. I went and had a couple Cutwater margaritas on the course, and I only got about 3 holes in. So something like this is much more appropriate based on the ABV. But yeah, this is perfect because it's sessionable, right? So you can have a few of these and you're still good to go and able to be coherent and have a conversation with the fellas. But it still has that bang for your buck, right? 4.5% people think, well, that's low. Well, that's your standard beer.
Right, yeah. What I like about this so far, just right off the bat, is you can tell that it's fresh juice because especially with pineapple, I feel like you can differentiate between fresh pineapple and the artificial pineapple that's a little bit stickier and more syrupy.
100%.
Where this is, like you said, very neutral. It's like vodka, seltzer, and then just a pineapple flavor to it.
That's it. It's very clean. It's
very good.
There's not a lingering kind of chalky aftertaste. A lot of the seltzers that you try, there's some aftertaste. You don't really know what it is, but it doesn't have anything natural tasting about it, right?
Yeah.
This is just very clean. Like I said, the fruit juice is there, but it's not overpowering. It's very well balanced, and it's not something that's going to be, a flavor driver. It's very complementary to the cocktail itself. I think it works.
There's not even like a residue inside the cup.
No.
Which sometimes you can,
100%.
it's evident.
Yep.
And then you're like, what is happening here?
What's going on?
The first time, I think this started with like our generation too, where juice boxes.
Splash.
Yeah, dude. Of course.
I was kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Irish.
I
So
know, right?
it's
Let's
fine.
go.
Thank you.
It started as
So
kids
welcome.
with like Huggies you could see, but then Capri Suns you couldn't see. And then,
Who doesn't love a Capri Sun, by the way?
right.
I know.
And then there was the
In my
health
fridge
kick.
right now.
And everyone was like, what's inside of this container? And then they found out that there's some wild stuff growing inside of Capri Sun packets.
Why'd you just tell me that?
Well,
He just said his kid has some.
Yeah, I pack my kids' lunch every day. It's not changing anything.
no, yeah.
Derek,
I mean,
they'll be in there
yeah,
tomorrow.
they'll-
Did you hear
they'll
that,
be
Kim?
fine. They'll be fine.
It's all good. It's
But-
good stuff growing in there.
It's funny because people were like, I'm going to pour some of these RTDs into a cup and see what they look like. And it was like very off-putting because no one did that. They just
Right.
trusted and just drank, oh, it tastes great. And
Right.
then now people are like actually pouring these out.
Let's see what we're ingesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really, refreshing, no pun intended, that there's nothing going on
Great
here.
word. Very
Yeah.
crisp, right?
Yeah. So you say 3 ingredients because that's really where they drove home the point. Like we want vodka, seltzer, and real juice.
Yep.
Is that typical in the industry with ready-to-drink cocktails, or do you normally see that they're more adding other things in there?
I think it's some brands and trying to achieve that, perfect balance and flavor. They're putting other stuff in there that, today's consumer is pretty aware of what they're putting in their bodies, and that definitely is forefront in their concerns. And I think being transparent about what is going into your cocktails, and if you can drive home, hey, this is all natural stuff and it's delicious, it's a win-win. So a lot of times people say that and it doesn't taste good, but this actually does. I mean,
Sure.
This was new to me. I didn't start selling this until about 3 months ago. And, we had some of our doubts, especially the fact that we were launching it in late fall. I was like, is this the best time to do this? But after I thought about it and I spoke with some of the other people, it made a lot of sense because springtime, summertime, the new releases within this category gets very crowded very quick, right? This was our way to differentiate and kind of get out in front of the game and get our name out there. So, people are like, well, why are you pushing, vodka seltzers in the Northeast? When it's getting cold outside. I'm like, because, we want to, build up that loyalty now. So come spring, come summertime, we have that brand loyalty and people are, aware of what we're doing. So
What do you know the sugar content in these?
these, the actual count that comes with each particular juice, I do not off the top of my head, but like I said, it's 0 added sugar. So it's
Zero
whatever.
added.
It's all just from the
Yep.
fruit.
So it's
yeah.
all just whatever would be if you were eating a piece of pineapple fresh.
Down for that.
Down, right?
So the recipe that came from this and the distillery that you guys acquired for this, are they still doing the manufacturing of this, or did you bring that all?
And that's a huge part
cool.
of what we do is, I mean, even when Anheuser-Busch takes something over, they want that integrity of the brand itself to remain, and that's a huge part of what they do. So it's when you get in bed with AB, it's more you're taking full advantage of their ability to distribute and get the message out, and do that very quickly and ramp things up in a very organized way and just execute. And that's really what the team that I'm a part of, that's what we're all about.
Yeah.
And it makes my job that much easier. When
You guys
we
are
have
just
cool,
juiced up.
cool
Yeah.
brands.
Absolutely. And
When it's good brands and the liquid's good, it's something you can get behind. When you believe in it, it definitely helps. There's no doubt about it.
And there's a lot of horror stories where brands are acquiring and then trying to distribute it in-house and name it the same thing. And even if you have good intentions of doing the same thing, you're still not going to be able to replicate it 100% because even climate plays a part in that. So
100%.
you're
Where you are, or like who you're trying to sell it to. Like I said, this was a Canadian ready-to-drink cocktail. One of the main differences is we call it obviously real vodka, real seltzer, real juice. They call it real vodka, real soda, and then they sell it in that squat can. Why? Because that's what they look for in the Canadian stores. I don't know why, but that's why. The people here that have pulled the data and done the research say that these sleek cans with a slight bit of rebranding, the brand's still the same, the liquid's still the same, logo for the most part still the same. We have those gorgeous, what is that called? Isn't that called like an umlaut or something like that?
Oh, the 2 dots.
The 2 dots above that?
Umlaut. Yep.
Something like that. So, that's all still there, and that unique packaging, and, we just kind of gave it a bit of a facelift, and let's go. Put it out there.
So you have raspberry, mango, watermelon, and pineapple. Are those your 4 main flavors of this?
These are the 4 main flavors. This one was just introduced, so we started with the watermelon, the raspberry, and the pineapple. We just released a 8-can, we call it our fruit variety pack, that now has the mango in there. We actually just got that on the shelves here at Addys. Thank you very much, Tyler. So that's become very, very popular, and those are the 4 that we're going to try today. Should we move on?
Sure, yeah.
Are we ready?
So your favorite's the pineapple.
My favorite's the pineapple.
What's the best seller? Is there a best seller? Is it the pineapple still?
I would say, because the variety pack nature of it, we had 2 variety packs out at one point, and it was the Nutrl cranberry variety pack, which is a vodka cranberry base. This particular one was outselling that variety pack to variety pack, but if we're looking at SKU as far as popularity within flavors, I'd say it would be the raspberry or the pineapple. I just don't think there's enough data out on the mango yet because we just put it out. Mango, is that where we're going, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm ready. This fires me up.
20 cases? Did you hear that? 20 cases already.
Wow.
There's the mango.
It's good to know. Real live data, live on show.
Live data. Immediate feedback.
So do you know the process of choosing what fruits that they want to make with this? So because I feel like raspberry, watermelon, and mango is a little bit different.
So that's a fantastic question. And like I said, I mentioned before that we're going right after that high noon drinker. So the flavors that we decided to go with are kind of looking at what they have to offer and then, kind of trying to complement and add to that. So, it's a differentiator, if you will. We do offer some flavors that they offer as well, but you also take that into account as well as the data that's out there as far as, trendy flavors, right? I just actually got done reading an article, and we had a meeting discussing it, that peach is out. And this isn't with Cutwater or with Nutrl or anything like that, just peach in the spirits category right now, whether you're talking Crown Peach, Jack Peach. I can't believe brands like that even got into flavored stuff. That's a whole nother discussion.
Absolutely.
But peach attached to anything right now is trending away and trending down, whereas things like mango, things like watermelon are trending up. That's what the data shows. So things like that, things what our competitors are doing, definitely drive a lot of the decision making behind that.
It's fascinating.
What is
trending
this?
Out.
Yeah.
What is the sourcing like? Not to cut you off, Derek. In regards to getting the fresh fruit for these, specifically mango.
That's another great question. As of now, nothing that I've noticed personally, and nothing that my retailers have had to deal with. But that doesn't mean in the future that's something that we might run into. Fingers crossed that supply lines remain consistent and things like that. And the fact that this is produced in Canada, based on some circumstances going on right now, that could become an issue. But at the same time, like I said, as far as inventory levels that are out there right now that I'm aware of, it's nothing that we foresee being an issue. But like I said, time will tell.
Yeah. The flavors, just going back to this mango, you can, again, taste like the freshness of it. You can almost kind of taste the viscousness or the viscosity of the mango itself, even though it's not in here.
Such a great word.
It's
too.
so interesting.
Where did that come from?
I use that all the time, man. It's a great
People
word.
in the parking lot today is like, I'm busting this word out.
I went on my phone. I'm like, word of the day.
That's it.
But no, really, you can taste all of that.
Yeah.
No, you can. And that's why I mentioned, because it's so fresh and it's so apparent.
It's enough. It's
Each
not
sip.
overpowering.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
this is too much. It's just enough. It's there. It's very complimentary. And I'm not a big mango guy personally, and I still enjoy that. So it's a very refreshing cocktail.
Yeah, no, it's good. And like I have to articulate it correctly because I don't want it to get misconstrued. It's not overpowering to where it's not enjoyable. It's the right amount of mango to ensure that it's fresh,
Yep.
which is insane. Because there's a definite fine balance to your point. But then secondly, that's why I immediately thought of, what if we run out of mangoes? Because it's so obvious that it's fresh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's good stuff. And we'd even pay him to say that. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But no, that's a great talking point.
Newsflash, we are not getting paid.
Right? But no, it's great. And it's like everything that you just said, I'm going to piggyback on. It's to your point. It's there, and it drives the cocktail. It's definitely very complimentary, but it's nothing that you're going to be like, all right, I'm done with this after 2 sips. It's something that, it's refreshing. It's something that if you're thirsty, you're actually like, all right,
Yeah.
give me an ice cold can of mango Nutrl.
Yeah. Is there any flavor that you can't make with this? Like fruit that you're like, this wouldn't go very well. Like, what about blueberry? I don't feel like I've seen a lot of blueberry cocktail ready to drink stuff.
Dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit would be delicious.
That would be good.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Push up the chain, man.
But even
I'm
like
gonna have to talk to my people.
like Bush apple just came out last year, right?
Sure did.
But I don't know if apple would be good in this.
No. Honestly, it by itself maybe not, but going back to my data research and my very corporate lingo, a cran apple is a flavor that is really big right now. So as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, we have the Nutrl cranberry variety pack. So that had 4 different vodka cranberry base variations. So they have a traditional vodka cranberry, and then they have a vodka cranberry orange, vodka cran apple, vodka cran grapefruit. The cran apple, by far and away, was one of the most popular. So, the apple. I just call it crapple.
It's fine. I
Yeah.
love it. I think you got to trademark that. That's good.
That's it.
That was amazing. That was my brain just working overtime. The Nutrl crapple, but no, that was it's a very popular SKU. So that'll work too.
What other fruits are phasing out? Like you said, peach. Is there other ones?
I would, I don't see an end ever to mango. I think that just pops up everywhere. Like I said, obviously peach. The watermelon time will tell on that. I think, there's a dog in every race. We were just talking about that when we were looking at some of the Cutwater SKUs. I hope that can pull its weight. But I think that it's going to be tough for watermelon to keep up with like the pineapples and the raspberries and the mangoes. I think a lot of people associate watermelon with fake. It tastes fabulous, and I really like it. So one of our biggest mantras is liquid to lips. It's like, sometimes people are on the fence as to whether or not they're going to try something. Just get them to try it, and I think it'll do just fine. But yeah, I think that might be one that we'll have to just see, once the data comes out, because it's too small of a sample size at this point.
Watermelon I associate, obviously, with water. There's half the name. But I'm interested to try this one because I feel like it won't be as pronounced of a flavor as the mango one. And I feel like I'm going to be eating my words in a second. Let me finish this really quick.
Not allowed.
But that's what I'm interested to taste with this, because I associate it with a little bit more weaker of a taste. So we'll see.
So you're going to get a lot of that watermelon on the nose right up front there.
Look at him. You want to show up for a Wednesday whiskey review?
Right, yeah.
Have one of these on, throw it up on the
I
board.
can pretend like I'm a sommelier again.
It kind of smells like bubble gum.
I was just about to say it. Almost the nose on it's almost a little bit of like to go back to my sommelier days, almost like a candied watermelon, right?
Yeah.
Almost like a bubblicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hubba bubba.
The nose is more watermelon than the taste, but it's still very refreshing.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely not as much on the palate from a flavor standpoint, but
It's not fake either.
no,
It's not a fake watermelon.
no.
That's why, I'm always interested in what fruits brands choose to put in their ready to drinks, because I have this notion that sour fruits would be better, but you get something like this and then cucumber or something like that, and it's like, oh, that's actually pretty refreshing.
Right.
So there's a time and a place for them.
It's funny that you say we're switching categories a little bit, but you say sour because one of our non-alcoholic brands that's absolutely crushing it right now is called Ghost. You guys ever heard of it?
No.
It's huge right now. So their number 1, 2, and 3 selling SKUs is 3 different variations of Sour Patch Kids.
What?
Yes.
And they're
The branding is
non-alcoholic.
absolutely killer. It's non-alcoholic. It's like an energy drink. It's huge with the kids and young adolescents, college kids and stuff like that. It's just flying off the shelves, and I haven't even tried it yet, but the packaging is fantastic. And I remember being on a call the other day, and I'm hearing like 3 different variations of Sour Patch Kids, and they were saying, they're like, who I don't care what age you are, who isn't familiar with Sour Patch Kids?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Even if you don't
sounds
eat them anymore, at
delicious.
one point or another, you know what the hell Sour Patch Kid was. So it's just kind of crazy the way that some of these flavors are going with all these different brands. So
Yeah, no, this is very good.
what are our
This is very
thoughts
fresh.
on the watermelon?
I personally like the
Be
watermelon.
honest. Don't sit here and tell me you like all of them.
No, I enjoy watermelon flavored things. I can't stand lemons. So if it was a lemonade, then I would have been totally turned off. Raspberry.
Do you hate lemons like just in everything or just in drinks?
No, just in drinks. But then in foods, I just like.
'Cause I'm like the same way. I'm not big with it in like drinks and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
give
no.
me some chicken French or something. I mean, I'm down.
Oh, yeah.
Does Buffalo know what chicken French is all about, or is that just a Rochester thing?
It's that for sure.
Like garbage plates.
Garbage plates are obviously
Yeah.
more famous.
Well,
But
you guys just got wings. What else do you need?
Yeah, we don't need much. Wings and beef on whack. We're
Right?
good.
That's it. The best, by the way.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But the raspberry is where I kind of get weary, so I'm hesitant on that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're in for a surprise on the raspberry.
Okay.
For me, we talk about this a lot. pineapple's amazing. We love pineapple. I wasn't expecting to like mango more than pineapple, though, and I do.
Right.
I like the mango more.
Well, I said the same thing. Generally, I'm not a big mango flavor person, and I really enjoy the mango. So
I feel like this watermelon, you can taste more of the seltzer, whereas the mango and the pineapple were more fruit forward.
Right.
But I mean,
goes
this
back
is
to
still
that.
very good. Again, it's very just crushable.
Yeah.
Like bring to a Bills game type crush.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You're not huge into
And then
seltzers
jump
either.
on a table when you're done.
Yeah.
Through it.
And that's not allowed anymore. Did you see Diggs jump through the table at
Yeah,
the
that
Pro
was
Bowl?
awesome. He won.
Made me a little nervous, so I'm not going to lie.
What do you mean it's not
Gonna
allowed
fracture
anymore?
hip.
Well, I was at the Hammer Lot for an Anheuser-Busch event for the Texans game, and not anyone in my group at all. Just something that I saw. Someone jumped through a table, and this other guy who was this hardcore guy who probably tailgate every single week in the same lot flipped out. It's like, if Hammer saw you doing that, you would be kicked right out of your bowl. I'm like, I thought this was a thing. I thought this is what you do. But apparently it's still frowned upon in some areas.
Old guy mad.
But it's all good. Shout out Hammerlot. We had a wonderful time. That was fantastic. It rained literally from the second we woke up till the end of the night. It was my wife's first ever Bills game.
Nice.
Dragged her to it, and we made it through almost a few minutes into the third quarter. So I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that on the air right now. But
Sometimes it's tough, especially when it's raining like that.
I was fine. The temperature, honestly, was good. Like, once you're soaked, you're soaked. I mean, there's nothing.
What game was it?
That was the Houston Texans game, where it just did not stop raining. And we were destroying them at halftime.
Yeah, it was like 40-0 at the end of the game.
We were destroying them at halftime, and she just was giving me that look. I was like, all right. Yeah, we both had the ponchos, which at that point we're doing absolutely nothing. Like, you're just completely soaked to the bone. But I'm good. I was like, I can't get any worse, so like we're just gonna suck it out, right? And she's just gave the look. You know, I think we've all seen that look at one point or another. So
Like, are you serious right now?
what's that?
You should know what's going on.
You should grasp the severity of the situation. But yeah.
But yeah, so far for me, it's going mango, pineapple, and then watermelon. That's my tier right now.
All right.
What do you think?
Mango's number one for you.
Mango's number
Interesting.
one, yeah.
Okay.
That's,
Mike, what do you think, man?
I have an odd relationship with pineapple.
Okay.
So pineapple, mango, and watermelon for me.
Fantastic.
I do. But you're not a huge seltzer guy.
No.
And
Yeah, I tried to do seltzer for like the first time
See,
a couple months ago.
Our podcast is forcing you into things.
Yeah, no, really.
Well, you guys are both giants. I walked in. I'm like, you guys both been like centers on your basketball team or something.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, except none of us can shoot.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh, this one's colored
Raspberry.
this
There's
time.
the surprise,
Look at
right?
that.
It's got
Yeah,
a nice,
really.
gorgeous color to it.
What was that?
Stunning.
Right? Should I offer you guys fresh cups? Are we
Ooh,
good?
this is so good.
Fine, save the planet or whatever they say.
Are we going to keep it gangster here?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Berries are my favorite. I love
Right.
berries too.
Here we go.
So I'm really excited for this
Love
because again, it's the sour fruit.
Yeah.
It just makes me all juiced. No pun intended.
Straight up.
Raspberry wheat's like one of your favorite beers of all
Oh
time.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's
Shout
try it
out
out.
4 Mile Brewing.
So this is my number 2. Pineapple's my number 1.
Ooh, this is good too.
This is your number 2?
This is my number 1.
Oh, this is really?
This is my number 1.
Okay, hold on.
I go this, then pineapple, then mango, then watermelon.
Why?
We forgot about because it tastes good.
Why?
Because it's delicious. Tyler, do you want more of these, bud?
Really? Over pineapple?
Yeah.
I can't put this over
that's
pineapple.
like fighting. That's like fighting words with you. I feel it.
Well, no. It's okay. I just can't put it over pineapple yet. What do you think? Are you up there?
I am not saying between this and pineapple because they're so
Tough,
close,
right?
Yeah.
Tough.
Mango's still number 1 for me because
Fill it
it's that,
cooler with both.
yeah, it's that fulfillness of the mango, which was nice.
This is 4th for me.
Really?
Yeah.
See, to each their own. That's
Yeah,
what
really.
happens, right?
We're all
You
gonna
like watermelon more than this?
Yeah, we're gonna duel after.
Well, you
this.
don't
We
like
are
raspberries,
100%
though.
dueling. We're gonna clear
but
this
it's-
room right out.
Yeah, I mean it's hit or miss with raspberries for me, and then black cherry is the same thing, or black raspberry. Like I don't know.
See, black cherry is always my go-to. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's traditional,
See, that's just.
but now
it's just-
mango is the
It's
best.
just clean.
This
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of fluoride.
Really?
Yeah,
A little bit.
Tyler's
that
over there like,
fluoride
what are you
center.
talking about, Mike?
it does. Like when you were forced to use it at the dentist
Right.
after you're cleaning.
Right.
That's what it reminds me of. I don't know why.
I'm not getting fluoride. I like it, but
not.
I do.
It's not necessarily the taste, just kind of like the
maybe the back end of it.
Yeah.
Got a little aftertaste.
the aftertaste of
Okay.
it.
All right.
But that's those fresh raspberries, though. Like you can still tell it's fresh.
Oh.
Oh, without a question.
Yeah.
But yeah, pineapple crushes this.
It is pineapples.
Is this a part of the pineapple variety pack?
Oh, 100%.
How many come in a pack?
This is the 4 that are in the variety pack. That's
How many
why I brought
come?
these. So
Only
it's
4?
It's 2 of each. So you're getting 8 cans.
8 cans, and then what's retail?
So $15.99. You guys are selling those for, I believe.
We're selling the variety pack we have now at $11.99.
$11.99. Scratch
raise
that.
those prices.
Even better.
We'll let it in post. Raise those
That's
prices.
what you
up.
call value-driven, gentlemen.
That's right. Value driven. A little bit of inflation on the back end.
That's all right.
We'll see what happens in
We
Q4.
won't even go there.
A little corporate lingo for you. We'll see what happens in Q4.
Well, you with raspberries, you kind of get that skin, like raspberries have a different skin than mango and pineapple,
Yeah,
and I think
agreed.
that's what you're getting with that back end.
Yeah,
That's that fluoride.
Yeah,
it's the tannins of the raspberry,
Yes.
Derek.
Yes. It's a very lengthy finish.
I know this is very good. I like this.
13-second finish, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Did he just go there?
Yeah, you did. Too soon.
That's why he's not
You gotta
in
at
the
least
shot.
let me start drinking the hard stuff
Yeah.
before you start bringing
Or
it
on
up
camera.
for 15 seconds. Speaking of, did you guys see Josh Allen like doing the whole week lead up to Super Bowl? I thought he handled himself gracefully with the amount of 13-second jabs that got thrown his way.
Yeah.
I still love. Did you see the what he was asked what rule would you change in the NFL next year, and everybody
see that.
thought he was going to say overtime rules.
Right.
Flip the coin, overtime rules, and he comes out and he says, "I wish they would let us fight like hockey."
I love it.
I'm like, dude, I love you
That's
so
why
much.
he's so amazing.
I know he's just such a good.
That's
dude.
why he's so like. Why is it cool in hockey and not in anything else? I just don't get it.
Same with lacrosse fights.
Give them what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
I
was
mean,
so
and they have a
excited.
weapon. I mean,
It's wild. Lacrosse games are
That'd be
weird.
awesome.
Like they're so cool. They're weird.
I'm very new to the lacrosse game. I was a baseball. I'm sorry. I was like, baseball, football, mostly football growing up. But my 10-year-old, now 10-year-old, he's obsessed. He loves it. So I'm slowly like actually learning the rules of the game. So
It's interesting when you see, a lacrosse fight compared to a hockey fight, and the only difference is you can't go anywhere in a lacrosse fight like you can on ice skates, where like momentum kind of like makes your whole body just move because you're gliding.
You're stationary.
You're stationary, just hammering them, and it's the same rules, same like it's so brutal. I'm like,
Don't
this
they wear
is-
full cages though in lacrosse?
Yeah, but those fall off.
yeah,
True.
They're just going ham, man.
just gladiator style.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, me too. It's a lifestyle.
It's just man stuff.
It's just man stuff.
No big deal. It's all right. They beat the crap out of each other and they feel better about it.
Yeah.
afterwards.
That's it. Shake hands, move on.
That's it.
Question on marketing materials. So where can people buy some of the swag? Like, is that an option?
Not really at this point. There's an internal source called AB Perch that we utilize alongside our retailers for all the different marketing things that we utilize both in store for promotional events and stuff like that. So typically a lot of stuff that you'll find like this, like our wonderful koozies here, hats, cups, anything like that, you're going to see at different promotional events that you're attending, being passed out, things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm happy to continue to provide you two with whatever branded stuff you'd like.
Oh, thank you.
Surprises galore.
Thanks,
Love
man. So random. I love it.
So one thing that now that I'm looking at some of this, was there a discussion on bringing Nutrl in and completely gutting the name and labeling it Cutwater, even if it was just for like a second? Because it's interesting to me that you have the Cutwater brand and then you brought something else in and kept the labeling.
Right. So keep in mind, Cutwater, Nutrl, two completely separate brands, having nothing to do with each other, right? So Cutwater is born and bred out of San Diego.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same type of thing as Nutrl, like from a acquisition standpoint,
Yep.
right?
So you know what? I'm
Okay.
glad you actually mentioned that, so I can give a little bit of background. So Nutrl was around, like I said, they were started back in 2013. Anheuser-Busch just recently acquired them within the last couple of years.
Gotcha.
So Cutwater was acquired by Anheuser-Busch back in 2016, and then they've been ramping up with the RTDs ever since then. But the cool part about Cutwater, they're out of San Diego, right? Are you guys familiar with Ballast Point Brewery? You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
I know you guys sound like a couple of beer geeks. You've
I
probably heard
love
of that,
Ballast
right?
Point.
Ballast Point, right? So the gentlemen that started
idea.
Ballast Point are the same gentlemen that started Cutwater, and they've literally struck lightning twice. So they started Ballast Point Brewery, then they got noticed by Constellation Brands. Constellation bought them out. So they had a nice hefty chunk of change from that. They invest that back into the spirits division of Ballast Point, which was called Ballast Point Spirits, renamed that into Cutwater Spirits, right? So then they started producing vodkas, gins, rums, whiskeys, bourbons, single malts, every type of major spirit you can imagine. And they're not doing it rinky-dink. Like they took the proceeds of that prior sale and they're doing it right. Yusuf and Earl, the two founders, they came from the craft beer game, but they are huge into quality. And if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. They're not cutting corners. All the ingredients, all the mixers, everything is made in-house. The tequila, which is the main ingredient for their flagship tequila Margarita, that's made in Jalisco, Mexico, right? So you can't even call it tequila unless it's produced down there. They got involved, did their research, they partnered up with a family down there that's been doing it for generations, and that is, just to ensure the quality and level of the tequila that's going to go into their cocktail. So I know we're kind of going all over the place here as far as information, but so that's kind of how Cutwater came to be, right? So they started making the spirits. So then they're doing well with the spirits game. They started to get a little bit more involved in the liquors, and Yusuf did some traveling over in Europe, right? Goes over there and he sees a lot of these RTDs, ready to drink cocktails, that are starting to become the thing. Now, mind you, this is 5-6 years ago. Comes back, sits down with her, he's like, we got to start making our own canned cocktails. It's like, we already have this gorgeous distillery. We're making award-winning spirits that are, doing great in their own right. We have the means to produce it right in-house. Let's just do it. Jump. And they did it and absolutely started crushing it. Then that, put them on the map for Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch acquired a majority of it, and they kept Yusuf and Earl on to continue as far as producing everything from the Cutwater side of things, and kind of similar to what I was talking about with Nutrl. Now you have the strength of the marketing and the distribution of Anheuser-Busch, and they have absolutely hit it out of the park. They've been the number one ready-to-drink cocktail for the last 2+ years running. The variety of the brand with Cutwater is by far and away the strength of what they're doing, aside from the quality in the can. Like I already mentioned, they already make all their own award-winning spirits. They already had that down, and all they did was add a canning line to their distillery that was already in production. If you're ever out in San Diego, I highly recommend you go try it. Anyone listening goes and checks out the Cutwater Spirits Distillery. I haven't gone to check it out yet, but heard nothing but great things. They have a restaurant. They have a tasting room. It's absolutely breathtaking, and San Diego, I hear, is just perfect weather-wise every single day of the year, so why not?
Right.
So yeah, it's just a very, very cool brand, and they have a cocktail for everyone. And if anyone watched the Super Bowl, you probably caught their 60-second ad. That was hilarious, celebrating all of us being lazy and having delicious drinks. So
I love that.
It was awesome. I thought they knocked it out of the park. It's one thing to invest in a spot in the Super Bowl. It's another thing to do it right, because there's been swings and misses with other brands before. You watch the ad and you're like, really? Like that's what you just spent all that time and money on. But I think they went exactly to what the message of the brand is, the convenience of the brand, the quality of the liquid, the fact that you take something that's a complicated cocktail that might require you getting 5 or 6 ingredients from the store, maybe multiple stores, to boom, get it cold, enjoy it out of the can, pour it over some ice if you'd like, whatever, it's ready to go for you. So,
sure.
Do you have the Cliff Notes version of AB as well? Like when they started?
So Babe wine, just straight Babe, right? So this has a much more interesting background as far as kind of how it came to be. So there's this gentleman that is affectionately referred to as the Fat Jewish. I don't even feel comfortable saying that, but I swear to God, that's his name. He goes by that. That's his Instagram tag. His name is Josh Ostrowski. So he was the founder of a brand known as White Girl Rosé. This was going back about 7 or 8 years ago. I was actually just talking to Tyler about that to see if they ever carried it. So this guy, his whole shtick, right, is he's just this guy down in Brooklyn that makes these funny videos, posts them online, and the more outrageous, the better, right? Very fun,
Sure.
Very blunt, very bold. So he was the driver behind that. There's these 2 gentlemen known as the names of the Cohen brothers. They were kind of a couple of the financiers that got involved with him as well. So they morphed White Girl Rosé into what is now Babe. I'll get those cans out here in just a minute. The whole thing behind Babe is obviously wine in a can is its whole new beast unto itself. So there's that. But they want this particular wine to be the unassuming wine for someone that drinks wine on the regular. Someone that drinks wine all the time, but half the time doesn't even know what the hell it is.
Sure.
I don't even know what it is. It's wine. It tastes good. Great. Awesome. That's kind of who they're going after. That doesn't mean that they're not trying to sell to someone that, might be a little bit more discerning with their vino. But it's all about, having fun, being a wine for all occasions, and, just kind of dumbing it down, not in a bad way from a flavor standpoint or enjoyment standpoint, but like taking the nose up in the air or that pretentiousness of wine.
Sure.
Removing that part, and that's why they partnered up with the NFL, and they're the official wine sponsor of the NFL and stuff like that. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Right?
So we got 3 brands in front of us that are all under Anheuser-Busch.
All 3 of them.
How many brands does Anheuser-Busch have? Is that a loaded question?
Within the RTD category?
No, like in general. Well, in the let's start RTD category.
My boss is listening. Don't judge me if I get this question wrong. But as far as ready to drink cocktails, the big 3 are the 3 we're tasting today, which is the Nutrl, Babe canned wines, and then obviously Cutwater. But then we also have Bud Light Seltzer. That's just outside the ready to drink. It's still within ready to drink cocktails, but that's malt beverage based,
yeah.
right?
That's
So
the
those
stuff that you
calls
can
are
find at the grocery
FMBs,
store, yeah.
flavored malt beverages. So slightly different category, but still kind of selling to the same person, right? So you got your Bud Light Seltzer. And then you have everything under the beer side that, has always been there, and they're always continuing to innovate and go from there. So, like I said, the seltzers, you got Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, everything you see here today. 101 North is another brand that I'm working with. Those are wines, California juice, California produced. The name obviously comes from 101 North, the road in California. That's going right after the Yellowtails and the Woodbridges of the world. Really, really cool brand, really, really good juice. So that's another one that I work with, and you guys hear me say the word juice a lot. But yeah, I think it's just weird to see the way the industry's gone, because Anheuser-Busch, this literal international giant that produces the more beer than anyone in the world, is now very much so a leader in a completely brand new category.
Absolutely. So when you're going into a liquor store to sell this or to get your stuff on the shelf, is it you have to take all three ready to drink cocktails, or
Nope.
No? How do you differentiate them then? So like if you're selling to Addys, how do you say, hey, do you want all three? If not, maybe take Cutwater over, babe, or like,
Right.
what do you do there?
No, that's a fantastic question. These particular ones, based on timing, obviously Nutrl's only been in the market now for 3 or 4 months. So Babe was already established, Cutwater was already established, so I didn't really have to, do one or the other with accounts. And there's a lot of factors that are involved to it. Obviously, a store such as Addys, they have a ton of space to work with, so they have a little bit more wiggle room. Some of the stores that I work with are these mom and pop liquor stores that, you walk in, it's the size of your bedroom when you were growing up. So literally space is of such a premium there that if you're going to put your brands in there, literally the sales they do per square foot is huge to their business plan, and making sure that whatever brands they take on are huge decisions for a very small business.
Sure.
So your approach is a little bit different in that regard, but the cool part about the Anheuser-Busch portfolio with ready-to-drink cocktails is they have something for everything, but very well thought out, right? They don't want to have redundancy as far as having brands that are going to kind of, cannibalize each other, right? Cutwater is doing its own thing. Cutwater vodka sodas are very similar as far as their light and refreshing nature, and they're similar as far as what they offer to Nutrl. But the strength of the Cutwater brand is their full flavor cocktails and the variety at which they offer. And they saw the strength of the market responding to things like High Noon. And they saw the strength of Nutrl, which is why they're like, all right, we need to get another stick in the fire here. And Nutrl made perfect sense. And then you have Babe. It's wine in a can. A lot of times people are like, is it a seltzer? I'm like, no, it's slightly carbonated, but it's 100% wine, California grown. It's from an alcoholic standpoint, from an ABV standpoint, it's 12%, which is standard for most of your white wines. It's roughly a little over a glass of wine. So they have something to offer to every type of consumer. And if, it's all about the experience, kind of going back to my hospitality days, right? Even somebody walking into a liquor store, that's part of their experience, right? They walk through the front door, their experience has begun. Maybe there's a tasting going on. Maybe they have some cool display up front. Maybe their shelving's organized a little bit differently. The way it's being marketed right now, everyone has their RTD section, if you will, right? And Tyler and I were actually just talking about it. Where does Babe fall? Babe's canned wine.
Right.
Should that be with the rosés? No. It's people are walking in and they're expecting to see something like Babe, even though it is wine, in that ready-to-drink cocktail section. So they may not see you if you have that positioned incorrectly within the store.
Sure.
That's what's so fascinating to me, coming from the hospitality side to the retail side and seeing how things are positioned within stores and literally the science behind it.
Oh, yeah.
It's the science and how things are positioned, where they're positioned. Is it eye level? Is it not? What type of stuff is adorning it? Like the rebates involved. And it's really, really cool. And it's the deeper you delve into it, it can be kind of boring, but the way it's all geared towards what we're looking for, whether consciously or not, when we walk into these stores. So
Sure.
Going back to your original question, I think the portfolio itself that Anheuser-Busch has to offer outside of beer right now is very complementary to what they were already doing, and within that, it just really covers all the bases.
So Anheuser-Busch saw that Cutwater and Nutrl were different enough that they were going to bring both of them out. They would never bring in another ready-to-drink vodka seltzer, because then that would be a kind of a conflict of interest, but not really.
Never say never, but
Right,
probably
sure.
not.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Is part of your job doing market analysis for the stores that you're going to walk into, or is that who's ever above you's job to do that, or are you relying on the store owner themselves to have that conversation with you, and then you can base your product lineup and SKUs off of the information that you receive from the store owners?
Sure. Well, being the large scale of Anheuser-Busch provides a lot of resources to us. Obviously, there's a lot of data that's passed down along to people at my level, but at the same time, there's tools that are available to me and to my counterparts that I can go in on any given day and I can take a look at literally a cross-section analysis of every type of store, whether it's a chain, whether it's a small mom and pop, whether it's something this size, and I can reference based on one SKU, 30 SKUs, an entire portfolio, and I look at sales, and I can do the time interval based on that, and I can break it down any which way. So that tool, it's something called iDig. It's something that we work with on a daily basis, provides us a lot of stuff that helps us walk into the store with the most guns, the most bullets in our gun, if you will, right? So you just want to have all your ducks in a row. You want to have all your information on hand, and it's about building relationships, and honestly, that's why I think we've done so well. The sales team with Try It is fantastic in Buffalo. The rep that's covered the store always does a fantastic job. But Anheuser-Busch is all about supporting the brand. We don't just get a brand in and then say, okay, I dropped 10 cases and, see you in 6 months.
Sure.
I tell people, like, whatever you commit to us, we're committed to you. I'm going to make sure that we're here. And whatever we have to do to make sure you push through that inventory, we're going to make sure that happens. And at the end of the day, we're confident that even if we did walk away and didn't come back, say, which we don't, it's going to sell because we wouldn't have took it on anyways.
Sure.
But we are there. You're going to get the FaceTime with us, and you're going to make sure that, you see that we're invested in the store and we're invested in you. And it's all about building relationships. And everyone has needs. I have needs as a salesman, the store owner, the general manager, whoever, the buyer has their needs. They have margins they got to hit. They have sales they got to hit. And, it's all about finding what those mutual needs are and, coming to the best solution. And thankfully right now, AAB has a wonderful portfolio to make that happen.
Sure.
So,
The full transparency, I'm not 100% sure about the canned wine market, but what's the competition like? Because this is the first time I've ever even heard of it, I think.
Right. There's a couple, well, I shouldn't say a couple, there's over a dozen that are doing it right now, but they're the ones that, there's one, Underwood, if you've ever heard of any professional singer with the last name Underwood. So that's one of the biggest competitors. And then there's Babe, there's Underwood, and then there's kind of everybody else mixed in there. But it's real. It's not going anywhere. This is a part of the market that's going to continue to grow. And like I said, every time, there's so many competitors getting into the RTD market right now. The dust's going to settle, and the real players they're going to remain. They're still going to be there, and then the pretenders are going to fall off. So, Babe's here. They're not going anywhere. Cutwater is a behemoth right now, and Nutrl, although new to the game, has a very, very promising future. So it's, back to your point as far as Babe, and it's doing great. Like I said, partnering up with the NFL definitely doesn't hurt, and it's unique, and it's kind of very blunt in their approach, and they're very unapologetic, and they have their very funny slogans and things that they do, and I think maintaining that uniqueness and differentiates them from the other people in the game. So.
Do each brand have their own specific handle on social media if somebody wanted to follow, or do they just follow AB?
Instagram, Twitter handle, all that.
It's fascinating.
Especially follow. So Babe is affectionately known as the most Instagrammed wine in the world. Obviously, the founder all of his success was born out of the internet, social media. Emily Radajowski is their chief taster. The supermodel, that doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt at all.
Doesn't hurt at all. Not bad to look at either. So, but yeah, so the Babe line is just fantastic, and they don't have a ton of SKUs, and I think that's good for them. I don't think that they need to reinvent the wheel and come out with 9 different offerings. Just do it well,
right?
Market it well. Make sure it's something that's readily available, and it's people's top of the mind consciousness, and it's something that they're thinking about. And it's just so far so.
Do you have one with you? Can we try that?
I have something for all of them.
Yeah, because I'm really interested to try some of the, because again, I don't think I've ever even heard of this before. And you said it's basically carbonated wine, right?
I'm sorry?
It's basically carbonated wine?
Slightly carbonated wine, correct.
Ooh, they come in really small containers too.
I'll do, I want to try the red, because I'm a red wine drinker, and white wine generally gives me headaches, but I don't even know.
I think this is different, though. I don't know if you'd get a headache.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't.
So as I dig the cans out of my bag here, which is going to take me a minute, so I have the Rosé, the Pinot Grigio, and the blended red, and then I also have the zero sugar, 100-calorie version of those as well.
Oh, okay.
So that's their Babe 100 line, so that's zero sugar, 100 calories. You're going to see a theme with the AB products, what market they're kind of trying to attack, right? So
we don't need to get out the hundreds.
Don't mess around with hundreds.
So for the wine, we should probably have a fresh glass. So we'll transition. I really see yours. I'll stack them.
So were those the blue ones? Were those the hundreds?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We could have said that we could have kept those out that way.
No, I mean, you just want to give them frostbite, so we go.
No, I just didn't want to keep them going digging in the bag. I wanted to have them be fine.
All right, you know what? We're going to start with the Rosé.
Yeah, you're good. Absolutely. That works for me. Can't feel my hand.
After this, we're gonna have a competition to see how long we can hold our hand in this. I think we did that the last tasting. Remember? Ice and water. You ever need to get something really cold, guys? Just an ice bath.
There you
Gets
go.
it done every time. All right, so as you can see, it comes in this lovely tie-dye can.
That's cool.
So that's not all the time. That's something that we were just doing for promotional period. So that is Primitivo and Pinot Grigio. You're going to have a little ice chip in there, bro. Hopefully that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tyler, you want some? So this is, I always kind of go, think Behringer White Zin. That's very sweet, right? Then you have like a super, super dry, like a French Rosé, which is like floral, really, really dry. It's got some fruity notes, but mostly dry. This is kind of somewhere in the middle. It's definitely sweet, similar to more like a semi-dry Riesling, something along those lines, but it's definitely there. It's definitely sweet. And what I think is unique about the Babe Rosé is the fact that it's not like your standard grape that you would see in a Rosé. Rosé in name only, but it's got that really cool Primitivo, Pinot Grigio blend. It's got that cool color. It's got the carbonation going on.
What prevents you from chugging an entire can of this? The carbonation? Because that's got to be the most...
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's the most dangerous thing in the world. What's the ABV on this?
So this is 12%.
Yeah, it's wine, so I would assume it's pretty
So the
high.
100 line that I just took out, those are fall into that 6.9 category. But even 6.9, I mean, that's like drinking an IPA, right? So
Right.
This is like roughly a glass and a half of wine, but that's 12%.
So what makes a canned wine? Like, is this mixed with seltzer? Like, what is...
No, it's literally like, so if we put champagne in a can.
Oh, okay.
How do you do
So
that?
this,
just
from
like
a
that.
carbonation standpoint, there's like champagne, there's Prosecco, and then there's like this, right? So this is not nearly as carbonated as either of those, but it's there, right?
Right.
Kind of on that same profile as like a Nutrl, where it's definitely carbonated. This definitely, I think, is a little bit more intense than the Nutrl. It's definitely there a little bit longer as far as the fizziness. But I think it works. I think it helps the wine out once, if I can, without losing some of my fingers, we'll find the red, because everyone's like, really? Cold red wine? I'm like, just try it.
So you're literally taking wine, carbonating it, and putting it in a can.
100%.
Love that.
100%.
Super simple.
And the key of it is convenience, right? So if you're going to barbecue, you're going down to the beach, you're going wherever, even if you're at a club, whatever, you don't have to order a bottle of wine.
Sure.
What if you're one person? I mean, we can all just drink a bottle of wine to the head. I've never done that, but I mean, typically this is something that you can just have one or two of, and then you're not worrying about, who I'm sharing a bottle of wine with or anything like that. So it's convenience. It's about size, and it's good stuff.
Have you seen the canning process for this?
I have not, but that would be very interesting to see.
Can we all do that together?
Yes. Let's do it. And just pound rosés. Rosé all day. Brosé all day.
Rosé all day. Just because I'm interested.
I'm going to keep talking and
you're good.
And dig out the other.
Just because I'm always interested in what competitors are doing and how we even get to this point. Is most canned wines the same? Is it all just wine carbonated? Is it just that simple for canned wines for everybody?
No, so there's other competitors that they make, just like your traditional like still wine. Whereas like all wine, majority wine is still wine because it's not carbonated, right? So that is definitely a huge part of the market. We just wanted to be differentiated. We wanted it to be more fun. So Bubbles is fun.
That's
Bubbles
awesome.
is fun, right?
Yeah, it says rosé with bubbles, right? Is that what it says? Love that. Let's go. This is really sweet. I didn't think that I was actually going to like this, but I like this a lot.
How do you sell these? What are they? Packages of 4 or 6?
So stores can sell them single can. They can sell them by the 4-pack. We have a Babe 100 variety pack of that 6 cans. It's 2 of each one. I'm really hoping I didn't forget to bring the peanut.
We can try the 100% or the 100 one.
I'd prefer to start with these ones.
I was thinking you had like a 100 pack option where you can buy 100 cans.
Jesus.
The mega pack.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Like a Costco pack.
Yeah. The BJ's.
You know what? We'll start with the 100 version, and then we'll keep digging. Sorry, guys, I'm screwing up our progression.
No, you're
good.
fine.
You're good.
We've literally went from we had a couple
We're all
beers
over
in
the- we're all over
college,
the place.
yeah, to we only drink whiskey neat, so we're okay with jumping around the board,
Right?
It's not a big
So,
deal.
no, and I'm very similar in that regard too, because a lot of my friends are like, "Look at the stuff you sell, man." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm totally into it, and there's a time and place for everything, right?" But I mean, I'm simple in that regard. Just give me a ice cold, really refreshing beer, and some bourbon to sip and enjoy on the side. But I think that is the strength of the brand. That all these brands is that they can get guys like us to sit down and entertain drinking a few of them. You know what I mean? What was it used to call? What was it used to get iced, where you'd have to get down on one?
Yeah,
knee
the
and-
Smirnoff.
You know,
You just
we're
like to
gonna-
chug them.
We're gonna have to start doing that with like Babes or something. I don't know.
Love it.
Something fun.
So what do these sell for here?
So these particular 6-packs, like I said, you're going to
Thank
get
you.
2 of each flavor. These are for $12.99 a 6-pack. So like I said, 0 sugar, 100 calories, 6.9% alcohol. Salud.
Cheers.
Versus the 12% on the regular line. Okay. So it's like speaking of college, it's we're doing like a power hour.
So how are they able to make it 100 calories? Are they mixing it with something? Or is that, again, just straight wine?
It's just straight wine. And I always go to, so the lower calorie count is equivalent to the lower sugar count, equivalent to lower alcohol, right?
Gotcha.
Because you need the sugar to create the alcohol. So if there's less sugar, you're going to have less alcohol. So less sugar means the flavor profile in these is obviously a lot lesser than you would be getting for a traditional Pinot Grigio, traditional rosé, whatever. But I think in that regard, it still has a lot to offer because it's not a flavor bomb. 0 sugar, 100 calories. I don't think anyone's expecting it to be a flavor bomb, but it's still, you could tell it's a Pinot Grigio. It's a very light Pinot Grigio, but it's there. It still has that kind of zestiness, that citrus going on with it. It's very refreshing. It's very light.
I was thinking they used half the grapes.
I just love how simple it is.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Right?
I just love how simple it is. Like, okay, you want less calories? All right, well,
And not too much bubbles, right?
alcohol. No, this is perfect.
Yeah, it's much flatter compared to the others. Not in a bad way. It's just flatter.
Tyler, really quickly, I'm going to challenge your dunking skills. See if you can find the regular red.
Hands behind your back, though. You have to do it only with your mouth. Pause.
Like bobbing for apples.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to keep pulling my face away. There it is.
Love it. Look at that. Record time, too.
I just fished it up towards the top for him.
Yeah.
That's all that
It's
was.
like loosening the lid.
That's it.
Don't just go in there.
I'm excited for this one.
All right. So this is the red, right?
Yeah.
So don't think that this is going to be like a Lambrusco or something like that, because it's not.
Is it a Cabernet Sauvignon?
I'm glad that you asked that. This is a lovely blend of Cabernet, Syrah, and Zinfandel. So you got that body, right, from your big boy, from your cab. You're going to have a little bit of that spiciness from your Zin, and then you got a little bit of that pepper going on from your Syrah. But it's all of that stuff that I just mentioned, but dumbed down into just a very flavor forward, but like rich yet refreshing. I like to describe this to people that, may not know a ton about wine, but know enough. It's like, think of a Pinot Noir that's like ice cold, because Pinot Noirs are still, really, really good red wines, but they're obviously much lighter. Still got some good, flavors going on there, but it's not that super big, bold, dry cab that you need, a big porterhouse to deal with. So
That's deep, too. Love that.
It's a nice color.
she's lovely.
Thank you.
There you go.
And that, it's
has
still,
a nice
what is it,
smell.
$12 for a pack of the full-bodied? I'm going to call it full-bodied.
Full bodied. So just to recap here, so the Babe Rosé 4-packs, these sell for $12.99 a 4-pack. The Babe 100 6-packs available, all at Addys, are for the Babe 100 6-packs are $12.99, so great value there. And the Babe Red 4-packs are available. These are not available at Addys, but I wanted to bring them so you guys could taste them anyways. Maybe he's going to bring them in. Who knows?
There you go.
But these would be that same price point as the Rosé at that $12.99 a 4-pack.
I think we have a little bit of pull at Addys. Just kidding. Who
knows?
Zero pull. But that's fine.
All right. So Babe Red.
I don't know why I'm smelling it thinking it's going to be different than regular wine because literally we've talked about it's basically wine.
You're like, what is this? It's wine. No, but Ryan, tell me, what is this? I know you told me that, but really.
Because it's just a
I
simple,
know, I get it.
it's a simple process.
Right.
It boggles my mind why more people aren't doing it.
No, every time I do activations for this, I do the same reactions. People are generally surprised and think it's great, and they're like, oh, so this is a seltzer. I'm like, no. Yes, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and no, it's not a seltzer. But that kind of goes to my point as far as positioning, right? People are going to look for this in that same shelf space or area of the store with your seltzers, with your ready-to-drink cocktails. So that's why this segment is becoming very unique. And, year over year they check it, vodka, gin, rum, whiskey, all that stuff. Which segment, which category grows most year over year. This coming year, ready-to-drink cocktails is poised to take over every single spirit category. It didn't yet. It's always either vodka or vodka forever, just for everything, right? Tequila the last 2 years has just came out of freaking nowhere. Yeah. Tequila's just crushing it. Whiskey's not going anywhere, specifically bourbons, but they're running into supply issues. But the ready-to-drink cocktail category as a whole is poised to take over all of them.
Wow.
Which is just, look at the dollar amounts that are floating out there as far as, stuff that's out there within the market now, within this completely brand new category that didn't even exist 10 years ago.
Sure.
So
It is really good.
That's what's so fascinating with this industry, man.
Right.
Things change so much.
We briefly touched on tannins, and I think we can pick up a few of those.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like if you took all the bad out of church wine and fixed it, It's this.
I think you're onto something. I need to add a bunch of churches to my account list.
Get after
There
it.
you go.
I think we're onto something.
Store it in the basement.
Right? Hey, single serve,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, just hand
Don't
them
have to
out.
all put your mouth on the same cup. Who wants to do that
Right.
anymore?
Yeah, right. And then the same guy wipes it off. I don't trust him.
I don't trust him at all.
Yeah, he's
And then
definitely missed
chugs
a
it
spot.
after. I didn't know that he chugs
Who
it
knows
after.
where that cup's been?
Can't waste it.
That's the other thing. What do they do with the cup afterwards? Is there a dishwasher in the back of the church?
You can't. It's Jesus' cup. You can't wash it.
Holy water or something?
Yeah, no, you can't do anything. Just continue. It's like a cast iron pot, right? It's well seasoned.
Look, if you need a character reference letter after this interview goes live, because you probably are going to get like destroyed by your boss, like, okay, we like the exposure, but we can't do it.
We can't do this again.
I love it.
This is really good, though. All right, so now, Mike, rate.
It's you're still getting those same characteristics you would drinking a glass of room temperature red wine. The tannins are there, but it works cold.
Yeah.
I prefer it this way for this particular one, and like I tell a lot of people, especially with Babe, because it's a very new segment within wine. I say everything can be enjoyed with your expectations at the right spot. If you have your expectations at a level that are completely inappropriate with whatever you're trying, whether it's a beverage of some sort, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a hotel that you're going to, I don't care what it is. If your expectations are way above or below whatever that particular product or service is, you know what I mean? You're probably going to be let down or whatever. So these have something to offer, even to someone who has the most discerning palate from a wine lover. There's something to be said about these wines and what they offer.
Derek wants me to rate these live on air.
Just like what? Rank these three
The
together.
rosé is my top.
Mine, too.
We still have to do the regular Pinot Grigio too to give it a fair shake.
Oh, well, then I'm going to wait.
You're gonna wait?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Are you ready to fish some more out? Has your hand recovered? You're good? See if you can find the regular Pinot Grigio in there.
So,
I love that this is a thing.
yeah.
It's actually really exciting because our significant others love wine.
Yeah.
And then
And it's always awkward to bring a bottle with you somewhere.
Right?
It
Because
is.
you're trying to think, okay, what does this person like?
Right.
What do they like? And
then when you know,
generally, you're going to satisfy maybe one person's want that you're showing up to that house
Sure.
at. Like, let me find one person that like.
Right, yeah, exactly.
and then if you don't, like if you go to someone's house and you know that they don't like the same wine you like, then you're in a tough spot. Then you're like, fine, I'll just settle for something else. Or you can just
more
bring
for
these.
me.
Yeah, right.
Right. Now we can just bring these.
That's it.
This is really cool. This is a really good idea. And they taste so good, too.
And you're going to get 4 of these, which is a glass and a half. So, I mean, most bottles of wine are anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks.
Yep.
Right? So if you're going to get 4, which is 4.5. Well, you said it's a 1.5
Here we go.
each.
Mike's doing math,
Yep.
so
Oh no, hold on. Okay, so 1.5 times 4. It's not. It's 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because there's the halves in there,
So if you drink a 4-pack, you're taking down
which is basically a bottle of wine.
a little more than, yeah.
Yeah, and that shakes out.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well.
Bang for your buck, man.
Someone that works at Anheuser-Busch.
Both of your
knows what's going
significant
on.
others need to just crush a 4-pack each and just see what happens.
Well,
Down.
we could have at the Super Bowl, but I messed that up, so that's fine. I
Yeah,
got
we
you.
had plans, and then he left. So
Way to go and ruin it.
I know it was terrible. I was so upset. But okay, so we have the Pinot Grigio full, not the 100-calorie one.
No, we did that one out of order.
Right.
So you tried the lesser. So this,
Okay.
so we're about to drink the full flavored. I hate even saying that about wine.
The full body.
The full body, yeah.
They put all the grapes in this one.
All the grapes. Is this you right here?
Yeah, I think there's another one upside down there too.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
So I don't want to jump too quickly onto a different product because I'm excited about this. But do you have any whiskey products that are cocktails with whiskey?
Or is it just Cutwaters?
So Cutwater Spirits makes, they have bourbon, they have blended
okay,
whiskey.
cool.
We had 2 different type of Moscow mules, right? So we had a traditional Moscow mule, which comes with vodka, and then we had a whiskey mule, which has since been discontinued. It didn't pull its weight as far as sales are concerned. But yes, there are definitely options from the whiskey standpoint, just from the ready-to-drink cocktail area. There's nothing that we offer right at this current moment.
Does Addys have Cutwater whiskey?
Right now, they did carry our Fugu vodka, which is the main vodka that's used in all of our vodka cocktails.
Okay.
And they still do carry the rum, which you guys already
Yep.
sampled and tried. And I watched that. You guys should have drank it cold.
Yeah, we probably should.
We messed that up really
through
good.
It's all good.
And through
I'm
the
actually
cocktail.
glad that I watched it, and I'm so happy that I'm going on because I can bring that up and
Hammer us.
no, not hammer you guys. You were 100% spot on. I mean, it's a very, very, very pineapple. You're a pineapple guy too.
Yeah.
So it's very pineapple-y forward, and it's like rum, like room temperature warm out of the bottle. Like, I don't care which way you slice it. That's not going to be something. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? I was watching you guys. I'm like, this is not going to be good. I'm like, they gave the label a great review. Good.
Yep.
Good. Nose. Good. I watch you both sip it, and I'm just like, all right, this is going back quickly.
But that's a flaw in our process, though,
but no,
because we have everything
But with
neat.
the stuff you typically drink,
Yeah, right.
you're going to be doing it neat. So I think you were doing it trying to be consistent, which I get. Right?
And that's almost the comedic. I mean, for your boss's standpoint, that's the joke too behind it. Where we're just like, you know what?
I brought it up. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're just gonna go full send and try everything neat, and then it's whatever it is. We're just gonna do it neat.
But no, that is good, and like you definitely have to be into the pineapple flavor. But that is something that's great to be mixed with. Something that obviously you can enjoy on the rocks. But I'm really glad you guys took the time to sit there and then give that a try.
Absolutely.
Which,
very cool product.
To your defense, we did say this would make a really good cocktail.
It would make a really good cocktail.
We have
amazing
zero
flavor.
It's fantastic. For
we
mixing.
have zero ingredients to do such. However,
And you did say, you said we probably should not be drinking this wine. You did say it.
Yeah.
You're like, in all fairness. And I was like, okay.
All right, we're good. We actually have another cocktail video coming up that we have to film. So do you guys have a cocktail that would go good with that? Because we film cocktails and we're terrible at it.
Right.
It's just two random dudes that people can relate to because we mess things up. I put whipped cream in his mouth the last time we did a cocktail video. It was a disaster. But
it's live on Instagram.
What is that episode called so I can watch it?
It's
live
live
on
today.
Instagram right now, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
a
amazing.
disaster. But is there a cocktail that you would recommend with that so we can make that next time?
So one of our top 4 selling ready to drink cocktails, that's one of the main components. It's our Tiki Rum Mai Tai. So it's 12.5%. We have one that you're actually going to try before we get done with it tonight. So a traditional Mai Tai has that in there. And maybe I think back in the day when I was slinging cocktails, there was like pineapple upside down shots. Remember? Were those a thing for a minute? Right?
Maybe it bottoms up.
Yeah.
Shout out to
like
a
that.
super old bar.
Right? It could go and you can make a killer pina colada with these. We make pina coladas as well. They have those
That's
available.
what we should do.
Yeah.
There's lots of different applications, if you will, for that particular one.
A pina colada is actually in our cocktail book as well.
Really?
So that fits.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, we could do
You guys
that.
have your own
idea.
cocktail book.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome.
It was a gift.
Forgive my ignorance.
No, you're fine. One of our fans.
I love
AKA
it.
my sister.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
She's
a fan.
She took every Tuesday and Thursday for the first year and a half. We had a cocktail post that went live every Tuesday and Thursday. She took all of them and formulated the Instagram posts themselves into an actual physical book.
That's so cool.
And then she's like, "Here goes a Christmas gift," and we were just like floored. I'm like, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Right.
So now we use that book for cocktail videos because it's been so long. We can just go back and then reuse. But now we're filming the actual making of it, and it's a disaster.
Yeah.
But then we just feed the drinks to our fiancés and wives, and
That's
they don't
it.
care.
It's content, baby.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
That's all you need.
This is very good.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, people are like, no, this is seltzer. I'm like, no, it's carbonated. Why is it carbonated? Because we wanted to make it carbonated because it tastes good. It's a different, tactile sensation. It's something different going on.
I feel like there's a different note. What Pinot Grigio is this? Do you know? Because this has a different nose to it, I feel, right?
So this
Or
is the
maybe I
same
just
Pinot
don't drink-
Grigio that, believe it or not, that goes into the rosé.
Oh,
but the
okay.
rosé obviously is complemented as well with Primitivo, which is very interesting because a lot of times Primitivo can be confused with Zinfandel. So basically, Primitivo and Zinfandel are the exact same thing. Primitivo is the Italian version of Zinfandel. So that's where a lot of that color is coming from when you get the rosé and stuff like that.
This one was very refreshing and crushable, more than the other two. Like the rosé is still my favorite, but this one you can destroy really quickly.
Yes.
They all have their own place. I don't know if I can even rate them 1 to 3 because they're all so different. And
it just depends on what you're into. It depends on what you're doing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
This is very good.
Everyone has their place. The rosé for me crushes, though.
Yeah, that was very good.
Did we try all of them? Did you try the Babe 100 rosé? I know you tried this. Do we even want to? Or do we want to get to the Super Bowl?
We'll get to the Super
brand?
Bowl. I think we
We're
should.
already an hour and 10. So
Are we really?
Yeah.
See what happens?
flying
Time
through.
flies,
I know.
right? Having fun. How long
should-
typically do you guys
Just whenever.
Yeah.
However long the
Just-
conversation
We shoot for an hour, but
it's
it doesn't
organic.
matter. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's touch on the Super Bowl. So you guys spent $46.85 million for
absurd amount.
30 seconds on the TV.
60 seconds.
There you
Okay.
go. Do you know anything about that whole process, or were you just
I
like,
wish
hey,
that I did. I mean, we were kept up to speed as far as when we would get a sneak peek of it, and just as far as the amount of time and money that was being invested into the entire program. Because the ad is one thing, but it's not something that you typically would see because obviously you're not in LA, but just surrounding the Super Bowl itself.
Oh, sure.
There was marketing and stuff that kind of tacked onto the ad that was going to be aired during the actual TV event. So it was just a huge opportunity for the brand. Obviously, it worked out as well that it was happened to be in California, where the brand is out of. But either way, regardless of where it was going to be, that was a huge opportunity for the brand, and they're just trying to seize on an opportunity with the momentum that the brand already has. And this is them announcing to everybody that we're here to stay, and this is a brand it's not going anywhere, and it's just really quality stuff.
So what product do you have from the Super Bowl?
So you've heard me say the 4 M's, right? So obviously Cutwater Spirits, they have 20 plus different cocktails in a can, but obviously we're constantly analyzing, looking at feedback that we're having from consumers as far as rate of sale, what they're going back to buy most often. By far and away, no questions asked, the Tequila Lime Margarita is our number one seller. Very interesting, right? Because you would think that might be more regional, but it's something that sells. It doesn't matter where you are in the country. It absolutely flies off the shelf. So it's a traditional lime margarita, followed by the mango margarita. That's a new addition to our core 4 that kind of just replaced or kicked out, if you will, the tequila paloma. So it's really exciting for the mango marg. And then the other 2 are the Mai Tai and then the vodka mule, which is just your traditional Moscow mule. Has everything except for the copper mug, so we threw it in a copper can. So we're going to try those 4. Yep. So we're going to do those 4, and then we copper colored can, not actual copper.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. People would be stealing.
That'd be cool, though, right?
Yeah.
Right? I didn't even think about that. But and then we're also doing
the scrap value alone,
right? That might create some supply issues. We have a Tiki Rum Punch, which is one of our new releases, and then a White Russian, which everyone's like, for real, like White Russian in a can. Ooh. I'm like, it's 14%, and it's like an adult chocolate milk. And the really cool part about it is that it's gluten-free, dairy-free. So anyone that does have dairy issues, I still eat cheese and dairy and everything anyways because I'm fat and I like food, but
just put a lactate in.
That's it. You're good, right? I just suffered through it because
your wife's never leaving you, and you're just like, this is your hell to deal with. Okay.
I love you, babe.
Goodness,
she's dying right now when she watches this, but. The White Russian's fantastic. And the cool part about it, it's in a can, right? It's got to be shelf stable. It's got to be able to sit there as long as the rest of our stuff. So it's got the same year-long expiration that the rest of our cocktails do, and the fact that it has no dairy in it. So in lieu of the dairy, we just did a cream liqueur. So your traditional White Russian is just vodka, a coffee liqueur, and then half and half cream, whatever you got laying around. Instead of the actual cream, we just did a cream liqueur. So 14%. Super creamy, delicious texture, and did I mention 14%?
Is that the right way to make a White Russian? Because my mom would literally just pour vodka inside of 2% milk and call it a White Russian.
Why not?
And just smash
you
it.
like it.
Like the Big Lebowski.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. So what does the packaging look like on these?
So let me get this started here.
I'm excited for that.
Okay, so we got the lime margarita.
Okay, matches the koozie. I like it.
So I think the packaging in general is really, really cool. It's very well thought out. It's very colorful. It's very
I like that a
eye-catching.
lot.
And that goes to retail, right? You want it to pop. You want it to be something that you're visually going to be drawn to.
I can't even try to understand and quantify the amount of time that they put into R&D for marketing.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
These are sweet.
So the color, a lot of times you're gonna see like the color combinations, right? They're really, really cool. Mm-hmm. My personal favorite from a color concept is the Mai Tai.
Ooh, that's sweet too. I like how plain the tequila margarita is, and then everything else just pops.
And then can't forget, there's your Mule.
Wow, there's a lot going on here.
He's like swimming around in a cooler right now. I love it.
You're gonna have to dump that thing in the sink before you leave.
The big boy. No, man, it's my cooler backpack, bro.
Well, I'm saying the ice inside of it.
Full and iced at all times.
Might have to stop into a store on the way home.
All right, so we'll go light to heavy. Are we going to do it all? I think we might as well just.
Might as well, right?
Oh my God,
Tyler,
we're gonna die.
Do you have any more cups?
Tyler, we might be sleeping here, just so you know.
Oh wait, never mind. I got a whole thing right there.
Love it.
So we're going to go light to heavy, right?
Okay.
So we're going to go Mule.
Or Ubering home.
We're going to go this.
We don't have to finish all these.
Tiny
just
sips,
try them.
tiny sips,
Yeah,
right?
we're good.
Okay,
Just like the tiny bubbles
Quick
inside.
background before we get going, right? So the strength of the brand, I've already touched on it, right? It's the variety of cocktails that they offer. It's the ingredients. It's not just the award-winning spirits. but all the ingredients that go in to make that cocktail, all made in-house. Nothing's artificial, all fresh, right? So it's all streamlined. It's all coming from the same place. We're not sourcing ingredients from all over the place and then putting it together. It's all coming right from there. So that just helps us so much, and it really helps the brand. Thank you.
Is there any added sugar with any of these either?
There is added sugar
okay.
for these.
Yep.
Yep. And like I say,
but it's a cocktail, so
it's a cocktail.
Yeah, yeah.
So for full flavor cocktails, margarita, stuff like that, that's a prerequisite.
Sure. Yeah.
Little house cleaning.
Hold on. This isn't just a standard solo cup, by the way. This is like weighted and
Yeah,
a
you can
dense
take somebody
plastic.
out. You
that's
can take
sweet.
somebody out with that.
That's
thing.
really cool.
Goodness gracious.
You could definitely take somebody out.
I can't wait to get. Oh my God. Are you calling me a babe?
You did that impression so well. All right. So we're going to talk a little about each particular SKU. One of the first questions a lot of people ask is, say, why is the alcohol content so high? Exhibit A would be your margaritas, right? These are range between 10 and 12%. And the answer is very simple. The ABV for every one of their cocktails is commensurate with whatever you would get if you were ordering that cocktail across the bar, right? They're not trying to change it. They're not trying to make it super strong. They just want to represent whatever that ABV would be if you were walking to your local watering hole and ordering it out, right? So a Moscow Mule literally is just a shot of vodka with all the fixings that a traditional Moscow Mule would have, right? So you got your lime, you got a little bit of your ginger. Now the cool part about this is that it's our own house-made Cutwater ginger beer. So you can do ginger ale, you can do ginger beer. Our Moscow Mule comes with ginger beer.
Thank you. Can you buy your
boys.
ginger beer outside of the cocktail or no?
You can, but because of New York State's lovely liquor laws, we do a lot more business in New York with our mixers at on-premise bars, restaurants, things like that. Liquor stores, you can't sell it if it doesn't have liquor in it in New York State. So you wouldn't be able to find our mixers available on the shelves here at Addys or near the liquor store. You would find those more at grocery stores, and then obviously being used in different cocktails and whatnot, stuff like that in bars.
So you can find Cutwater ginger beer at like a grocery store or something.
Not all, but
okay,
that,
gotcha.
if someone were to carry it, that's where you'd see it. But like our Bloody Mary mix are killer.
Yeah.
The ginger beer is killer. So we've had a lot of success with bars and restaurants utilizing that for their own Bloody Marys and stuff like that.
I don't drink a lot of cocktails, but when I do, mules are my favorite.
Did I give you one?
Yeah, it's over there.
Yeah, that's intense.
All right.
Yeah,
The
very-
flavors are there, man.
Yeah. It's very ginger forward.
Yeah.
Like a lot. It is the cocktail.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what is it? I'm like,
Love this
that
cocktail.
whatever that cocktail you would traditionally have, that's what's in the can.
That's insane that there's like no joke. How is it?
So this is 7%. So this is light as far as alcohol and like overall flavor profile working our way this way.
I want to talk to these guys in like their canning process and just like, what in the world is going on? We need like a how it's made episode.
100%.
Would you ever be open to having like them on with you so we can talk to them?
Yes.
Okay.
We just need to get them to fly in from San Diego, but
okay,
they
yeah.
got
I
plenty.
mean-
They have more than enough funds to do that.
Okay.
Because that would be fascinating to me. I would love
Yusuf
to
and
talk with
Earl is the man. He's hilarious. When I started on the job, this is I think like my second or third week, and I got an email for a Zoom meeting, and it's like, oh, you're gonna get to chat with Earl from one of the founders of Cutwater. I'm like, oh, this is cool, right? Second weekend. It was a Zoom meeting. I think it was like 7:30 in the morning. The Zoom link pops up, and it's Earl. It's Earl in a hot tub, drinking a White Russian.
That is awesome.
Like, how's everybody? Just very boisterous, just ball busting, just over the top. He is definitely like the face and the voice of the brand, whereas Yusuf's more like the mad scientist,
Sure.
the creator behind the scenes, and just a very fun, just very outgoing guy. And I was like, okay, this brand's for real. They're the real deal. They like to party.
We have the capabilities to do a Zoom too if you wanted to stay there.
I think that we
But-
could definitely.
Yeah.
We
Because
should definitely look into that.
these are so-
they love stuff like this. They
Yeah.
love talking about their story, how it came to be, and obviously why it's become so successful.
Yeah. Let's try to set that up. That'd be cool.
That's easy.
Cool conversation.
100%.
This is very good though. This tastes exactly like a regular mule.
You definitely have to be. It's very ginger forward.
Yeah, you got to be in the mood for it.
You got to be in the mood for it. You got to be a big fan of ginger. But if you like Moscow Mules, you're going to be expecting that
Love
anyways,
this,
right? So 7%. It's got enough sweetness, right, to balance out a little bit of that ginger going on. Just a great cocktail, and it's represented by the sales. That's our, like I said, I'm going to keep hearing me say 4 M's, right? So it's our lime margarita, our mango margarita, vodka mule, and then the Mai Tai.
Yep.
This is right up there in that top 4, and for a reason, it's delicious.
Oh yeah, it is. This is very good.
Nice job on this. If they're listening and watching.
Oh, they will be. Trust me. I'm
love-
going to eat this right up.
I love that copper can too, like you were saying. That's really
Right.
sweet. It's a good touch.
Right. And for all you sports fans out there, we partnered up with Major League Baseball and the NFL at one point. There were vodka Mule Red Sox and Yankee cans. I try to forget that there were Red Sox cans, but I'm a diehard Yankees fan. But there were some sweet pinstripe Yankee NY vodka Mule cans that we have. So that just goes more towards like the brand and where their head's at. Obviously, they know that their brand works, and they're going to partner with the right people, the right organizations to make sure that they get the word out. And I mean, what's cooler than walking into Yankee Stadium or walking into Fenway? And this is a perfect first stadium.
Oh, sure.
I mean, you can't beat it. You know what I mean? That's like literally a venue like that is absolutely made to sell a product like this.
Which we have listeners and huge, literally called mega fans downstate. This is clearly available down there.
Okay. Oh yeah, big time.
That's huge. That's actually super
These are
exciting.
sweet, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
The copper coloring is extremely unique. You really only see that with, historically a whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it looks like copper. And then, it's just one thing to just touch on. But
Right.
having that on the can is very unique compared to everything else on the shelf.
And if you like this can, you'll like the new one that just came out too, because these two cans, my boss, if they're listening, they just got a recent facelift. So we're talking the packaging for the new SKUs that came in probably in the last, 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
But same color scheme, all the rest of it, just a little bit more intense, some really cool new designs, but the same copper mug and all that rest. Oh, there it is.
That's sweet.
The packaging for the Yankees.
So that is what I was talking about right there.
Vodka
So we partnered
Mule
with
is
Yankees.
here.
They did the same thing for the Sox.
These
Got
are
that
really
in there.
sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So very, very cool partnership right there. Tyler, thank you,
Want to throw it on
sir.
the other side?
No, I just kind of want it right in front of me.
So obviously you guys are Bills fans, but you fall into Yankee fandom as well.
I'm a Yankees fan.
Love it.
Yeah.
So what side does Derek fall on?
I don't watch baseball.
Okay. All right. I can handle that.
Yeah.
But he's a Bruins fan, so we'll talk about that later.
All right.
Just because the Sabres are so bad.
Dude, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. I don't tell anybody in this town. I mean, we want great things from them.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the Pugulas can do so well with the Bills, and then it's just the Sabres are.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, but it's okay. But yes, there are many nights where I talk to our mega fan about like the Paul O'Neill, Alfonso Soriano, Jorge Posada days.
Soriano, I love that dude.
Just the boys,
Yes.
and you're like, man, if only we could kind of bring it back. And then
He's like one of those forgotten Yankees, I feel like. Right?
Jorge,
No, Alfonso.
Oh,
like people
no
forget.
doubt.
Like, dude, he was a great ball
and he
player.
always stole second base.
Always.
Yeah.
And he swung, I think, the heaviest bat that ever was ever made.
Yeah, it was
He weighed almost
amazing.
like 40 ounces.
Yeah, he's a savage. There's a lot of good memories with the Yankees growing up, but
Some painful, but more good.
we'll get there. We still got our man Aaron Boone out there making plays, and now he's in his new role.
Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
So Cutwater got in with football, and they also got in with baseball. Are they in any other sports or no?
As of right now, no, but that doesn't mean going forward that we won't. There's opportunities in all the different platforms, all the different leagues out there.
Sure.
So it falls into the why not
The-
category.
Right, yeah. Why not? Exactly.
And we had a handful of these at Highmark. I was about to say the Ralph or
Still the Ralph.
Rich Stadium
Yeah.
that I grew up with. But so we got a handful of these in the hospitality section over at Highmark Stadium, which is fantastic. The brand itself is just crushing it, man.
That's sweet.
Terry Pagula's daughter's in tennis.
Oh, really?
That's an option.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just saying, professional
go.
tennis. Yeah.
But again, golf, man. These are crushable on the golf course.
That's fantastic.
Especially the 16th hole, the Waste Management Open.
The halfway house, baby.
Yeah,
Love it.
exactly.
All right.
I love how they call the rain delay.
All right.
Yeah, because there's just so much trash on the field or on the course.
dumpster
Everyone is
fire.
there.
This is one of our newer SKUs. This is in that same ABV. This is 7%.
Dude, you got such a heavy hand. It's like you do forearm curls or something and you forget.
Like, you don't have to drink it, okay? Do we need a dump bucket over here or something?
We just keep crushing. That's fine.
That's it. Alcohol abuse. You can't dump it. You know what this reminds me of? It's like the punch bowl at your high school dance.
Yeah.
Was that even a thing? Did they do a punch bowl
yeah.
back in those days? Maybe the sports banquet at the end of the year. That was a punch bowl.
They had a punch bowl during the dance party.
With the sliced orange floating on top?
Yes. During the movie Heavyweights. There's a throwback for you. If you remember the movie
Oh,
Heavyweights.
yeah. Doesn't it, I mean, a little bit, right? With booze.
Yeah, exactly.
Orange passion
Right.
fruit punch.
I'm not gonna lie. This is for me. It's a little. It's much too sweet for my liking. But there's a core part of our clientele and our customer base that loves this stuff, and Our rums do very, very well. So I think this is, in time, I think this is going to do it.
If we were down south or on a cruise, what else would you want?
We're not in 12-degree weather in Buffalo, New York.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. If this is perfect cruise, like literally I'm on a cruise liner
Yeah.
and I'm going to the Bahamas, what else would you want?
It's still very sweet. Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's still very sweet, but it's something's cutting through it on the back end where it's not like syrupy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, good call.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's brisk, where it's
Right.
just like it's over with.
That's it.
Yeah. And then the aftertaste isn't bad.
No, not at all. Dissipates pretty quickly.
It kind of reminds me of bubblegum too.
A little bit.
A little bit. It's in there.
All right.
What's this one?
So this is the mango marg. All right, boys.
I feel like I'm gonna destroy this
I feel like we
one.
should be like drinking water or something.
Yeah,
alongside
really,
this.
just cleanse the
So these,
palate.
like I said, 7%. So now we're moving into the higher ABV. So the mango, lime, and the Mai Tai are all 12 plus.
Yeah.
And then we have the Russian coming in at a cool 14.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
All right.
We'll just do like a real small sip.
Don't be scared. So you're going to see a beautiful golden hue.
Oh, interesting.
Why is that, you gentlemen ask? Because
Pineapple?
fresh mango puree.
Oh, nailed
Nothing
it.
from concentrate,
Nice.
right?
I knew it was
It's
a
called a
fruit.
mango margarita. You
Mango
guys- pineapple.
come on, it
margarita.
looked- I
I was wondering where he was going with that, but I just
I told you I had a weird relationship with pineapple.
I could see that.
I want
Jeez.
pineapple in literally everything.
Are you that pineapple on pizza guy?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, I draw
All
a
right,
line.
okay.
All right, I'm not a
Okay, I
savage.
had to ask. I had to make sure.
Savage.
I got called a barbarian during the Super Bowl commercial, so it's
For
fine.
what? Would you just take a
No,
pineapple?
the one company called Bills fans barbarians for jumping through tables
Yeah.
in their commercial.
really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Bothered Bills Mafia.
It should.
Why does this smell the way it does?
Not pineapple, I'll tell you that much.
Not pineapple.
Yeah, not pineapple at all.
Like I said, so
They should make a pineapple one.
they should. So mango, contrary to the Nutrl, right? I really enjoy the Nutrl mango, and I'm not a big mango person. I've yet to really totally fall in love with this because this is like mango.
Yeah. I
Right?
wholeheartedly agree with you on that because mango is my favorite neutral one. And this one I can take or leave.
I don't like this one.
I probably shouldn't even say this, but you know what it reminds me of?
Oh, jeez. We'll edit it out. Don't worry.
It's
Full send.
do you remember that? It was kind of like similar. It was kind of like Robitussin, but it was called like Dimetap or something like that. It was like a cough medicine. The
You know
very
what?
first time I ever
Yeah.
tried this, that's the first thing that popped into my head. It's not like it was a horrific taste, but it wasn't what I was. It's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But you know, this kind of goes towards what I was talking about, the strength of the brand. It's variety, right? Something that we may not enjoy is something that the sales, the data doesn't lie.
Sure.
So the last 2+ years, this has crept up into that top 4 seller. So this is one of the 4 M's. The market has spoken, and there's people that absolutely go crazy over this stuff, even though, you know, it just depends on what you're into. It depends on what type of cocktails and what floats your boat, I guess.
I think, too, it could also be because we had the neutral one before this. And
Yeah.
for me, at least, that was my ideal mango flavor.
Right.
Whereas this is kind of teetering on that. So I wonder if I had this one by itself.
What
if I would
extreme to
still
the
be-
other, too, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah.
And not,
This is very kind of syrupy, a little bit thicker.
a little much heavier mouthfeel to it.
Absolutely.
And not to discount the fact that we've been literally all over the place.
Correct.
We've tried 5 different vodka seltzers.
We're fine.
6 different wines.
having fun.
Our palate is just all over the place.
Yeah, it's torched.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So that's the mango. All right. Moving on.
We're just
Moving on.
crushing through these.
All right. So this is the big boy, right? This is no questions asked. Number 1 SKU, our traditional lime margarita. Fresh cup for you, Derek.
Thank you.
Very welcome, my friend. So like I said, all the tequila that we utilize for our margaritas made in Jalisco, Mexico, partnered with this amazing family that's been doing it for generations. It's absolutely fantastic. They didn't cut any corners as far as the production into the making of this itself. The way that they go about drying out the agave and baking it, they do it in a traditional way that all the mass-produced stuff that's being made right now has been forgotten and long since not been doing it. And Yusuf's like, no, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And we're going to make it the right way. It's going to have its own unique flavor profile. So their Blanco tequila, which is the one that goes in here, their Añejo is absolutely phenomenal. They're all just fantastic in their own right. And then they're taking that premium spirit, that Blanco tequila, and they're putting it in this. So it's just a wonderfully balanced. And the cool thing about, I mean, everyone's had, you know, I feel like it's a like sour rot when you've had 2 or 3 margaritas when you're out with the boys and it's like throat dries
Yeah.
up from all the sour mix, right? This has a little bit of citrus going on, so you definitely have a little bit of that tart, but it also is smoother on the back end because of that citrus note.
Sure.
And the tequila is 100% there. I mean, 12.5%, that's kind of hard to ignore, but it's not like you're just blasting a shot of straight
Dude, try this.
Right.
Blanco tequila. It is fabulous and really dangerous.
So that same tequila is being used in the mango margarita?
Correct.
But without the lime.
So no, there's all the traditional ingredients that a margarita would have are in all of our margaritas.
Okay, gotcha.
The flavor complement is different. So this has a little bit of mango puree. Obviously, we have the strawberry, the peach, same thing. Strawberry puree, peach puree. But like your standard margarita ingredients are the base, if you will, is the same for all of them.
That's
I love
perfect.
this.
It's good, dude.
That is very perfect.
It's good. Now,
This is ridiculous.
these are great. Like you say, keep saying, we going back to like golf course stuff like this. You're gonna get like 3 or 4 holes in with this because, well, this is it's good and bad double-edged sword because they're fantastic. Because typically when you're drinking a can, you're drinking a beer. Mm-hmm. That's what we've been doing forever, right?
You're
Holding
used
a
to
beer,
that.
You're used to that. So you're holding one of these and you're just like sip,
Crushing it,
sip,
yeah.
and then halfway through the can, you're like, oh shit.
I didn't have breakfast this morning.
Well then,
Yeah.
So, but no, it's fantastic. And we come back to the same thing, the ABV, right? People, why is it so strong? It's like because a margarita is all booze with a little bit of sour mix on top. That's all it is. So they want that to be the same across the board as far as the ABV is concerned.
There's like a little sweetness in here too, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
That citrus.
Yeah, the citrus touch is huge. I can't get over how smooth that is.
That's really good.
And there's almost like
For how strong it is, too?
Yeah, and there's like really no carbonation.
None.
It's unbelievable.
None.
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
So this is the number one seller. Nothing even comes close.
Oh yeah, I mean that makes sense.
I'm surprised. So did the mango margarita come after the regular
Yep.
margarita? Okay.
So the mango came shortly after this, and then the strawberry and the peach, which we're not trying right now, those came out last summer.
So what was their thought process? Do you know what their thought process was on this worked so well? Let's try to introduce fruit.
Innovation.
Okay,
Anheuser-Busch
gotcha.
is about innovation
Sure.
across all brands all the time, always. Innovate or die, essentially. They're always trying to push the envelope, push new things, bring new brands into the fold. Within those brands, they're trying to continually improve. And, if it works, great, but we're going to continue to grow and continue to add, innovate and add value to that brand. So
How
That's
do you
really
buy
good.
these in a 4-pack?
the Cutwater cans are all available in the 4-pack, and then we have select SKUs that are also available in variety packs. So we have the tequila variety pack that has the lime marg, our tequila soda, and then the tequila paloma. So the paloma we're not trying right now, but the tequila paloma is really cool. It's a unique SKU. So that's our Blanco tequila with grapefruit soda. So if you were to walk into a restaurant and just order a paloma, they'd probably give you a couple shots of tequila with a splash of like grapefruit juice on top. That's like your hardcore traditional paloma. This is one of the only cocktails where we kind of tweaked the traditional ever so slightly.
Sure.
They wanted their paloma to fall into that kind of that light, refreshing category. So in lieu of actual grapefruit juice, they went a little bit lighter on the sugar, and we made our own house-made grapefruit soda. So that's 7%, really, 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 really good. But that same killer Blanco tequila that goes in all the margaritas too.
This is really good.
I want to keep crushing that. Tyler, try this. Have you had this before?
Oh, he's had them.
Dude, this is phenomenal.
Oh wait, you didn't try the rum punch yet, did you?
Ooh, try the rum punch then.
Try this. I'm gonna pour you the rum punch.
This is very good.
This is the one that
should have
you didn't bring in yet.
Okay. Yeah, this is fantastic, and I like how they tried the innovation. So, in your opinion, what is your opinion on the? I know your mango margarita opinion, but you said there's a strawberry one too.
There's a strawberry margarita as well. So we're just going raw data sales. Obviously, lime margarita number 1, followed by mango, followed by strawberry, followed by peach.
Okay.
Peach is getting phased out, and we're about to introduce a pineapple margarita. That's literally any week.
Really?
Unfortunately, Mike, the pineapple isn't available, but we're gonna have maybe we have to do another one.
Yeah,
where we taste the
absolutely.
pineapple.
Well, so you said it's going to be available soon.
in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, let us know. We'll come pick it up.
100%.
That's so cool.
100%. And Tyler and the team here have just been absolutely fantastic. And literally anytime we have anything new coming out, they're always willing to give it a try because they know that we're going to make sure that, whatever they put on their shelf is moving and, being, appropriately placed for their clientele.
Yeah. So for a lineup is such extensive as this, when you go to a liquor store, do you say try all these different samples and pick which ones you want? Or like, what is because there's a lot here.
Good question. And it always comes back to 4 M's, right?
Sure.
Rate of sale.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I'm building relationships and I'm trying to provide them a solution, right? So what products are going to go on their shelves? They're going to drive the most sales volume, and then create the best bottom line for them, right? So I say the strength of Cutwater is the variety. Yeah, we have 20 plus different cocktails, but if you're going to go with this brand, start with their core that regardless of location, clientele, demographic, whatever, these move no matter what. The data shows it. Start there. And then you can kind of start to pick and choose who's your demographic, who is your key clientele, what are the types of drinks that they are looking for, and you can kind of broaden your horizons from there. But I always say, on your display, on your shelf, these are the four you want to start with, because those are the rate of sale, the repeat purchase on those, that's going to keep coming. And then you can kind of start to figure out, okay, these people love the White Russians, these people love the rum punches, these people love the Bloody Marys. We have 3 different types of Bloody Mary. So it really just runs the gamut and just depends on, your clientele and all the rest of it. But to your original question, it's all about walking in and starting with those 4 M's, getting them to know what the brand's all about, telling them the story, and just going from there. But it's just telling the story. That's really all it is. The brand itself has such a cool story, how it came to be, and it's remaining as strong and true to itself. So it's fun to work with. Yeah.
So peach, we talked about, is on the decline, Mike.
Yes.
Next up, pineapple margarita. You just said.
I'm ready.
Being that he's such a pineapple fan, I purposely left it off just to disappoint him a little bit. But I'm joking.
I'm here for it.
No, I'm joking. No, it's not out yet, but that'll be here in a couple of weeks. Hopefully to hit the shelves here, and then we'll definitely make sure that we can arrange something else so we can taste that again for sure.
Yeah. Yes. So with the Cutwater brand, is there a kind of like directory of all of your products and where they're available? Like, can somebody say, I want a lime tequila margarita, it's available at Addys and other stores, or is it kind of you have to find it?
More or less, you got to find it.
Okay.
If there's so many of those online delivery services now with liquor stores and everything else, depending on what state you're in, they probably list whatever SKUs they have based on that.
Sure.
But as far as if you're just sit at home and you're saying, okay, I want to go to this particular liquor store, I want to see what SKUs of Cutwater they have. If you're not using that online system, I don't know. Is there a way, like, does your website list what Cutwater SKUs you have?
Our app has every single SKU.
Okay.
Well, we carry every SKU that you have. And
Right.
Our app has everything. It's all under the staff picks, too.
So just another way that Addys is absolutely crushing it because of the ways that they're able to get amazing products to your front door, everybody.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot during our weekly episodes because of our partnership with Addys. But for those that didn't hear Tyler, they have an app. So if you're within the state of New York, they can ship to you.
Right to your front door.
Right to your front door because it's legal. So just download the Addys app, and then you can search Cutwater, and then scroll through all their SKUs, and then you can pick and choose which one you want, which is fantastic for everybody in New York.
Yeah, and to your question, for a store like Addys, it's very easy because they carry every SKU.
Sure, yeah.
Literally every one. They just, when I tell him a new one's coming out, he just orders it because he believes in the brand that much, and he knows that that they do well. But some of the smaller stores, depending on size and all the rest of it, they just don't have that space. Right. So that's like to your question. I walk in, I'm like, all right, they're probably only going to carry 4 or 6 of these at best. Some places are only going to carry a couple.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell them to put the gin and tonic with cucumber and vodka soda lime.
Sure.
And that's taking nothing away from those SKUs. It's just that's not going to drive sales for the brand in a format like that.
Yeah.
But mostly the lime tequila margarita is probably available at most.
If they have Cutwater, they have the lime margarita.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So what is this last Valley High Tequila? Yep, we're on this bad boy right there.
Mai Tai, right? So you got 2 different types of rum. You're gonna have some citrus, some pineapple.
That's what I'm talking about. One more time, but slower.
Pineapple.
I can't, man. I love pineapple.
Thank you.
And then
Just a little taste of this.
me. Look how much I just poured.
You can pour some of that into this. That's plenty. Plenty. Thank you.
There you go.
If you have a glass.
I couldn't be the only one with this large cup here.
Oh, Jesus. We're good.
We got it.
All right.
It's not spilling, Tyler. Don't worry. But it's not. It's not. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right, so back to the flavor profile. Light and dark rum.
I could taste pineapple.
So you're getting citrus, you're getting pineapple, you're getting a little bit of coconut in there.
There's definitely
I
coconut.
mentioned pineapple, but it's not. I feel like I need some steel drums playing in the background while I drink this guy. So with all that fruit juice, all that rum, you're thinking this is just going to be
Sugar overload.
like syrupy, sweet, gross, but it's not. It's still refreshing for as strong as it is, and for still being very sweet. It's still refreshing. It's got a great flavor profile. Like it literally coats every part of the inside of your mouth. You can taste all the different stuff that's going on. But I don't think the complementary flavors, I don't think anyone really kind of overpowers the other. The only thing that I kind of get a lingering flavor of is a little bit of the coconut.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of coconut.
It's a lot.
But I don't think it's kind of ruining it for the others. So Yeah, I've never even had a Mai Tai before I took this job and tried this can, so I didn't really have anything to judge it against. But
Yeah, that's true. I haven't had a Mai Tai.
I'm not a big rum guy in general, but this made me a believer. This is really good. And it's funny, the first time my wife, for about 7 or 8 years, she lived in Chicago, and the first time I had her try this, she's like, "This reminds me of Wrigley Field." I'm like, what?
That makes no sense.
I'm like, what? She's like, "Oh no, it's like they have one of the biggest things outside of obviously the beer and everything else. They have these stations all throughout Wrigley where they make these like Mai Tai slushies. Like I guess apparently it's the thing at Wrigley, and I guess they're super popular and they're strong. And of course people are crushing Mai Tai slushies at Wrigley. But either way, I was like, wouldn't have thought that. But she's like, oh, these are freaking amazing.
More reason to travel our own country.
There you go.
These are really good.
Have you ever? This is a very
Mai
random
Tai.
question. Have you ever purchased a coconut and then shaven a fresh coconut and then eaten fresh coconut out of that, or no?
I don't know that I personally did all the work you just described, but I probably have tried fresh coconut. Yeah.
So we should probably talk about this on the weekly episode, but I went through a huge kick when I was a kid about survival things, and Survivor Man was the show that I was watching on top of a bunch of other things.
Such a
However,
great show.
when he was on islands, he's always like, I gotta find coconuts, and that was one of his main top 5 priorities each episode. Like, gotta find coconuts. So finally, I convinced my mom to go to the store and buy me a fresh coconut because I wanted to be like him in the show. I didn't understand how hard it was to open a freaking coconut, first of all. And then secondly, I drank it, and I was just like, this is what's going to keep me alive. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
Like
Nothing like what you expected it to taste like.
Did not like it at all.
No.
And then third, my stepdad was like butthurt because he's like, well, now I got to sit here and eat this coconut because you don't even like it. He's like, would you just eat
We
this?
don't waste in this family.
Yeah. So he's sitting there with a knife and he's scraping this coconut and he's just sitting there eating raw, like fresh coconut. And then he goes, try it. And I did.
Yeah.
And I haven't experienced, the whole reason for that was because I haven't experienced that fresh coconut flavor since the rum that we did with you guys on our Wednesday Whiskey Review and this.
Okay, good.
And it's a compliment because it's credit to actually how fresh the ingredients are, but it is very potent. Like there's a lot of coconut in here.
100%. And that just, to your point, it just goes to everything, like all the ingredients. It's very easy for a lot of these brands, especially the new ones that are getting in the game, to let's just slap some stuff together, get it in the can. Hopefully the packaging draws them in, and if it gets them drunk, maybe they're going to continue to buy it, right?
Sure.
Like, no, they have the resources, they have the vision, and they did not sacrifice anything. And they said, we're going to do it, whatever ingredient it is for whatever cocktail, we're going to make sure we source the best possible thing, and that's what's going to go into the cocktail. So
we're doing a lot of good things, too, for people that are watching this on our YouTube channel, which they should, because we are physically pouring each of these into a glass so you know what it looks like coming out of the can.
100%. But they are designed to be enjoyed right out of the can, in a cup, over ice, whatever. That's the beauty of the Cutwater cocktails, is you can enjoy them however you would like, and just throw a bunch in a cooler and have at it.
Love it. All right, last one here is White Russian.
Last.
Kind of nervous.
Definitely not least, right?
14% out of a can, gluten-free, dairy-free.
Dairy-free, baby.
Have you tried this one?
Shelf-stable. So I like to always just refer to this as...
You don't shake these.
No need.
Okay.
So when you talk about shelf stable, everything is a year?
Your expiration.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that comes out thick.
Yes, sir. There you go.
Thank you. Well, cheers on this one.
Salud.
Salute.
The last one.
Budmo.
Okay. So this has our award-winning Fugu vodka, our coffee liqueur, and a cream liqueur.
I'll just take the can. Appreciate it. Thanks,
Right?
everybody. I'll see you next week.
Cool story. About 3 months ago, I got the Italian-Irish thing going on, so we do Sunday dinner in my family. We were over at my parents' house for some sauce, and my 2 grandmothers, and God bless them, both in their early 90s were there, and I had my cooler bag, so I had some Cutwaters with me. Right? And they're like, hey, Rye, what's this new cocktail? And I was like, oh, it's funny that you asked, Graham. I'm going to bust out one of these White Russians. My 2 grandmothers, God bless them, split one White Russian. That was the best fun they've had in the last 40 years. My mother wasn't too happy with me, but the 14%, but they had so much fun with it, and I mean, you only need a half of it, and it's just really, really good cocktail.
This is very delicious.
And they're
It's really good.
And I personally, if I'm like, when I drink these, I pour them out over some crushed ice, and they are absolutely banging. But you can enjoy this right out of the can too.
Absolutely.
But with this, you want this to like be super cold.
Yeah.
This is not something I would want to be drinking once it starts to warm up a little bit.
Same thing about half the grapes. Your grandparents only had half, so
Yeah.
it's technically 7%.
Yeah.
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 It's fine.
And they never drink, so that was all that they needed.
This is really good. The cream in this is very smooth.
Yes.
And with cream, I'm always hesitant because you get that weird aftertaste with it, and you don't get it with this.
No, you're almost expecting like a little bit of that, like almost like a chalky.
Yeah.
Right. And
Exactly.
you don't get that here.
All right.
This is really
So
good.
don't worry, I brought 2 cans of everything. So,
How heavy is that cooler bag? It's like the never-ending.
dude, I used a shopping cart to wheel it in here.
Well, this is awesome, man. Thank you for literally
Thank you.
everything.
No, you.
This
kidding
is
me?
amazing.
Guys. Derek, Mike, this was Buffalo Happy Hour. This was a lot of fun. This was.
This is what it's all
fantastic.
about, man.
This is another great perk of my job. I like to say it was, switching careers a little over a year ago was a huge transition for me and my family, and it's been fantastic to partner up with Anheuser-Busch and to work with them. And like I said, it's a different dynamic for me being on this side. But when you're working with brands like this and get to work with people like Tyler and great stores and sit down and do podcasts with guys like you, it's really, really fun. So thanks for the opportunity. And it's a lot of fun. Let's do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Anything, I mean, we covered a lot, but is there anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to?
Yeah, what are the social media handles so people can follow?
Good call.
So social media handles, you're going to cutwaterspirits.com is the website for Cutwater. Same thing for Nutrl. You're going Nutrl.com. Very simple there.
There's no weird accent in the actual web address, right?
No, I don't even know if that button exists. Yes.
Just NUTRL.
Ignore the umlaut button. Yes. So Twitter is at Cutwater Spirits, and then the same for Instagram. And I think, what else am I missing on Babe? Just go check out the Babe Instagram page, and if you want to laugh your ass off,
It's there.
It's not family friendly, so I'll put it that way. It's nothing that's lewd or anything like that, but it's the strength of Babe, I think, is that they're very loud and they're very blunt and they're very just very forward thinking with their messaging. But I think that kind of plays into the brand and what they're doing. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, man. This has been awesome. Everything has been delicious.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
You have to download the Addys app. Check them out. They're here. They're probably at your local liquor store too. Go find them. Try them out because this is some of the best cocktails that I've ever had.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.